Hello and welcome to the Captain's Table, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Berserker01, a Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astropub, your space bar at the end of Twitch. Tonight is our Captain's Table. It is a Star Citizen podcast where I bring people from all over the Star Citizen universe to come together and talk about PUBG, I guess.
Mostly.
Maybe Battlefront. We can talk about that too. You know?
I play that. That's
pretty good game. Yeah.
I've been watching them.
Battlefront 2, I love that game, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Enjoying that a lot.
I really like the space battles in that. It's actually really fun. It's arcade
surprisingly
as hell,
fun.
But yeah,
Surprisingly fun. I know, it's weird.
I guess we should also talk about Star Citizen since it's supposed to be a Star Citizen podcast.
Maybe.
Oh, this is a Star Citizen podcast.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing? I didn't...
No, it's a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. Totally.
Yeah.
I heard they're totally a cult. Is what
Yeah.
I heard.
Oh, they're a cult. Yeah, I totally cult. I heard that the guy named Matachi. He apparently is a cult leader, and that guy named Paul. He's apparently a shill. Because
If you listen to DS's tweets,
yeah, I know. It's same here, you
Yeah.
know. And apparently I'm a shill because I don't want people to leak information. Yeah, that's totally shill activity, you know.
I feel left out that he hasn't picked on me yet. Then
Wait for it. It'll happen. Because respecting NDAs is apparently a shitty thing to do these days. Whatever. Anyways, let's move on to the beginning. I'm going to introduce all these folks who are amazing. You should be following them. I got to update that information in the bot because I'm an idiot. I also need to... Am I recording? I am recording. Good. So I wanted to double check to make sure I was recording because I've had so many problems. The reason why if you guys are watching this and you're like, well, why are the last three not uploaded? It's because I had massive problems with the last three. And so they should be... I think two of them are salvageable. One of them isn't. So hopefully this will be up there as well. So let's start with the man at the head of the table. One of the most entertaining men on Twitch. And has one of the best brands on Twitch, hands down. His name is Detox. Who are you, Detox? What do you do?
thank you very much, Paul. That's very kind of you. I am a very no. My name is Detox. I am a variety broadcaster on Twitch, but I'm also a very big Star Citizen fanboy and streamer. Also, I'm leader of the Supreme Immobile Infantry by night, and a gardener by day. And that is pretty much as much as I'm going to tell you. You have to come find out for yourself what it's all about at some point in the future.
You need to go follow him. So,
shameless plug.
Shameless plug. You need to go follow him. You should be following any of these people. I need to update my command in the bot anyways. But next we have a face we haven't seen in a bit because of technical issues and other things. But who is one of the foundational rocks on Star Citizen, who's been around for a very long time. His name is Nighthawk Sale. Who are you, Nighthawk? What do you do?
Hi, everybody. My name is Nighthawk Zale. I used to regularly be a Star Citizen streamer, as Paul said, real life, hardware issues. But I'm working on a comeback. Besides the streaming thing, I do a lot of content creation on the side with people like Athogen, Uther Riley, and a slew of other super talented people in this community. I also design tabletop games. Traverse the Verse is one of the big projects. I themed it after Star Citizen, and I'm also working on my own IP variant of that. So come back. Streaming will be good. Video game play will be nice. Video game design will be better. General shenanigans.
Awesome. All right. Next, we have CIG Famous, the man who has graced 3.0 and is able to talk about it.
Slow down now.
The myth. Yeah. The myth that is the hat, who is the Meyer, that is the hat. Meyer Test. Who are you? What do you do?
Hi, I am Meyer_Test, streamer here on Twitch TV like everybody else here, but also a member of Test Squadron, hence the Test, where I'm a staff guy person. Twitch partner, I stream Star Citizen, and recently I've also been playing Dauntless a heck of a lot.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're building a bit of a Dauntless community. Like I stream like twice a day now, so I can actually get some Dauntless in and then some space and sci-fi in the evenings. On top of that, I also I also do voice work. So I wish I can talk about. Bulkheads is one of them actually. So yeah, Bulkheads is a Star Citizen machinima that has really started to just get its like upswing again. Like it was down for maybe like 9 months. We came back with a fury. We have so many new people who are going to be showcased in this next episode. We got some new music. We got some new machinimators. It's going to be ridiculous. Apart from that, yeah, I played 3.0. It was all right.
He did. And unlike me, he can actually talk about his experience with it at Gamescom. That's it.
At Gamescom.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit more of a slip that, the guys who are doing Bulkheads actually might have a little something to show at VerseCon. So if you're there live at VerseCon, you may actually get to see a live exclusive to VerseCon. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. No,
Very
it's something
cool.
we've been keeping on like close to the chest because we didn't want to like we didn't know
Very
if
close to the chest.
we don't.
Until you just leaked it.
Well,
Yeah, you just leaked
The
it.
leaks are real.
the thing is that we didn't know if it was going to make it or not, and they're still kind of on the fence about it. But I wanted to inject a little bit more of that because I know Tacon didn't even know about it. And he's part of the staff, so
Yeah, I'm looking through the chat logs right now, and I got nothing.
I want to say it's a
The
brilliant.
next meeting.
I want to say it's a brilliant scheme of mine, but I completely forgot about it after Bilvac mentioned it to me, and then he mentioned it to me again because he's going to be on one of the panels, and he's like, oh, by the way, we can also show off Bulkheads. I'm like, oh fuck, right, you guys are making the Bulkheads thing for us.
Oh my.
Next, we have Tacon_TV.
Where?
He is a meme generator. He is a meme suppository. He is also a fantastic broadcaster. Who are you? What do you do, Tacon?
That's a great question. I'd love to answer that. No. Yeah, like you said, shit poster, average, I suppose. Yeah, roommate with Fastcard, most famous for that, is being Fastcard's roommate. That's really my claim to fame. Is he slept on that side of the room and I was on this side of the room. Yeah, I know, huge deal. I feel like it changed my life.
I mean, we were housemates that
Yeah.
time when it was you, me, and
I slept in the bed
You
with us.
were in the living room, and that's
Yeah.
There's that wall in the way, and that's that separation.
You don't have the closest that you have with
I could
Fastcard.
feel it seeping through the wall, but it's not the same. You gotta have that proximity effect.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, just kind of a variety streamer right now, focused on sci-fi and stuff like that. I've gotten into platformers lately just because they're so much damn fun. There's so many good platformers coming out that I've really just started picking those up and playing them because they're like
Cuphead.
$10-20 a pop. Run right through them. I haven't done Cuphead yet. Getting there.
Okay.
I'm looking at it. I'm going, okay. I want to wait a little bit in this. I want to see, and I'm gonna go. Mostly because I have a
Hearing a
giant
lot of,
Steam library I'm trying to get through.
There's a lot of controversy around that Cuphead.
Controversy.
Yeah, people apparently finding it too hard. Like some reviewers are finding it too hard, and they're getting like.
Yeah,
It's a
upset
fucking
about
Good.
platformer. You know?
Detox.
No.
You're gonna,
Good.
if you're going to use these big words, Detox, you're going to have to dumb it down a little bit for this guy. Here. I mean, a little bit. Bring it down. Bring it down,
Sorry.
notch, buddy.
Yeah, it is getting late here as well. I shouldn't start trying to sound clever.
Get good. That's all I have to say. Get good.
Get good.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Get good.
I can do this.
I
I
mean,
can do this.
that's the other thing. Like, look, I'm actually going to piggyback it off that. That's the one thing I'm fearing about Star Citizen is that they're going to swerve a little bit too much into the difficult, like get good direction in terms of like, hey, you need to figure out how to start up your ship. You need to have the 5 different button rotation that you need to hit up to start up your ship. Oh, by the way, you also need to contact the ATC and be like, yo, I need to go off. And then the AI needs to be like, it does not compute. What did you just say? And be like, I need to take off right now. You need to take off your clothes? That's fine. No, god damn it, you fucking voice activated piece of shit, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know,
Voice attack to the rescue.
yeah.
Please read back proper IFR clearance. Full readback required.
Oh, god damn it. But lastly, we have the Pope of Star Citizen. He blesses us with his presence, and rustles the jimmies of many. His name is Matachi. Who are you? What do you do?
What's up, guys? Well, apparently I'm also a prophet.
Yes.
I did predict the
Oh.
second coming of 3.0, that it would eventually really flesh out in reality. And I'd like to thank all the people out there, all the worshipers who helped make that happen.
Can I
It's the
get
truth?
Can I get some holy alphas in chat for this? For the prophet himself.
Oh.
Yep, I bless all of you. No, but
Thank you.
my
Thank
name
you.
is Matachi, and I am a full-time Twitch streamer. And yeah, you can watch me at twitch.tv/Matachi. So there you go. I mostly stream Star Citizen each and every single day, even through all the dry periods. And then I play some PUBG and mix in some other games here and there. But 100% Star Citizen. Love it. So,
Yeah.
it's me.
I don't think I could ever go
That's
back
it.
to 100% Star Citizen though. Like even if 3.0 is out. and it's the
Well,
best
I mean,
game
you
of
got to
all
play some more
time.
stuff. I have
Yeah.
to play it every day, even though I don't know. I played it every day even before I streamed it. That's just it's habit, I guess now. Even when I was throwing stuff at the screen.
It's like that
It's like-
familiar, isn't it? You get
It
back
is.
into it. It's like, this is all familiar to me. You know your way around. You've done it all a million times, but it just feels like going back to somewhere you know very well.
As buggy as Star Marine has been, it has been the saving grace for me, because after playing a year of flying around, fly to Korea, kill the people to Korea, there's nobody in Korea, there's nothing to do at Korea now, run a couple missions. After doing that for a year, at least as glitchy and hacky and whatever Star Marine has been over the last year, it has sustained me and be able to say at least I logged into Star Citizen for an hour or two every single day.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's still fun, even though it's frustrating. It's still fun.
yeah. It is.
So.
It's still fun. It's still fun
Yep.
to run around, shoot
know
people
what?
through, and especially when it's a busy day. Like if there's a lot of people on, and especially if there's other streamers on.
Oh,
and
it's really
things as
nice.
Well, that's quite fun.
Yep.
You do get those dry days where you're queuing for a game for like 10 minutes sometimes.
You cycle your time zones to different time zones, hoping to find some group
Yeah.
of 4 or 5 people to play. Yeah, absolutely.
It's bound to be a bit like that right now.
Yeah,
But I think it's also about finding the right time of day, because you could go in, say, middle of the workday and have a really nice session with good social interactions, player on player mission creation, despite the fact that 263 doesn't technically support that. Like there's plenty to do, but then you go on later in the evening, before bedtime,
and that's
and
what
it
I
feels
tell,
a lot like COD in your
in Star Marine. But even if you think about it, even in the PU, what we have, if you haven't ground on this game like most of us have for a year, there's a lot of stuff to do and see and just kind of feel out, and I think we forget about that. If you're a brand new player to the game, you have hundreds of hours worth of stuff you can piddle around and do inside Star System 2.63. There really is. I mean,
And I
Just
think that's-
learning to fly is like the biggest hurdle,
Yeah.
at least for me it
And the
was. Like,
difference
I
is
had
great.
never played a sim. I'd never played any kind of sim before I started playing Star Citizen, and it was just like such a huge learning curve initially.
And I think
Forget
that's
about that
actually,
with
sorry.
that. No, carry on, man. Sorry.
I think that's actually one of the big challenges as a content creator. You spend so much time with the subject matter that you sort of, you kind of go numb a little bit around the edges, and you start to forget some of that stuff. You lose connection with it, and so struggling to maintain that connection to the new and the first time, like it's not easy, but I mean, you have to be able to look at it different ways. That's why before I came to a close with my streaming this last year, more and more frequently you were seeing less of like gameplay style sessions for me, and you'd see more back and forth between like being in game and walking around a ship and then going back to spreadsheets and going, okay, so this is how the infrastructure of the organization is going to work once such and such a mechanic comes out. And there are always new ways of keeping it fresh in your mind, but it becomes so challenging. The more and more content creators come out, I mean, everybody's got an angle, but it's really fun to watch.
I will counter that and say that yes, more and more content creators come out and they have their angles, but what it does is it fills vacuums that didn't exist before, especially as we get closer and closer to more people watching.
The trick is to
But
put
this-
it down.
But this sort of leads into how I wanted to react to your statement before when you were saying that you don't think you could ever go back to being 100% Star Citizen streamer. That's I don't know that you should be saying that really, because we don't know what's beyond 3.0. We don't know what 3.1 is going to bring. We don't know what 3.3 is going to bring. And for all we know, cargo may not do it for you. Mining may not do it for you. But as soon as they drop that first round of science, or first round of medical, or who knows what else. I mean,
or the first round of being a bartender. CIG, please.
Running your own restaurant, being a bartender, any kind of thing
occupations.
Like that. I mean, here, let's simplify that even more. Think about the very first time you get full 100% what was promised multi-crew functionality on something like a constellation, and then every single person who sits on your ship has more of a reason to be on the ship than simply to occupy a chair. And that alone is really going to change the game. So I think there's a lot of potential for not necessarily everyone, but for some of us to go back to full-time Star Citizen streaming and only Star Citizen.
Well, I know what's kept it fresh for me, and I know most of you guys would probably agree with me, and it's the viewers out there. I mean, every time you get a new guy, that reignites the fire in it, right? That's where it's you keep it interesting because there's a guy like, hey, so what's there to do in this game? I'm like, really? Let me show you. You know, there's like so much stuff. That's
me
what
show
keeps it all
you
going
the
to the
world. You know.
Yeah.
It's the best question.
If I was playing this by myself, then I probably would get burned out on it, right? It's really repetitious in the last year. But having people out there in the audience and new people coming in and people asking questions, that's what keeps interesting me and makes it really easy, actually, for me to play every day, at least for a couple hours, because there's always somebody with a new question.
Yeah,
So I always
really
think
good
like
point.
one of the best thing about being a Star Citizen backer is playing the game. The second best thing is showing it to new people, like people who've never. Like I spent a couple of hours showing it to my mum the other weekend and just explaining everything about it to her, and she's always been like interested in my stream and the whole Twitch world and things, and you know, she's seen me playing it, but I've never really given her any in-depth detail about just how amazing and what the game's doing. So I was showing her like the CitizenCon 2016 demo, and you know, even as someone who isn't a gamer or doesn't do, you know, not necessarily a massive sci-fi fan, isn't a gamer, even just explaining the concepts to them, it's like really exciting, and you can see them being blown away by it, and you know, they're not even gamers. They you know, they can't even appreciate it entirely what it's achieving.
I mean, I've been getting this. I'm sure all of you have gotten this as well when you've played Star Citizen recently. You always have that one guy who shows up and goes, "Holy fuck, what is this game?" Like literally those words, something to the effect of "Holy fuck" or "Holy shit" or "Oh my god, what the hell is this game?" Yeah. And I think as content creators and as just as backers, we all have been we all believe that everyone knows this game. We all believe that because it's been on PC Gamer and it's been around on like Reddit and it's been, but you know, I like hate to say this, but like gamers don't like Reddit is a small community and the forums and like the space gaming community is a very small community. Most people who play games, even hardcore PC gamers, may have not heard about Star Citizen, you know, like it's just a matter of fact. So whenever you get that new person who comes in, you're like, wow, their first experience is me playing this game. Yep. This is a lot of responsibility. I don't want to fuck this up. Yeah. But at the same time, you're just like, grab your shit. We're going to have an adventure. You know, you're trying to explain it.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Best way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Detox was saying about explaining his mom, that reminds me of the one time I tried to explain my grandmother, and she to this day is still convinced that Twitch has something to do with something sexual. Like there's strangers giving me money for something sexual. Because there's no way people will ever subscribe or donate money to you for a living if it doesn't involve sex. So my 84-year-old grandmother is convinced that I'm doing some weird sort of pornish type stuff.
Listen, Matachi.
Say, hey, look, it's not.
Matachi, there is actually a very, very long conversation in that about how Twitch is actually kind of voyeuristic and people like to watch because they like to get involved in other people's lives. But you know what?
Yep.
Let's not have that discussion.
No, we're not going to. I just shoot in that mind. It's like, yes. So if anybody ever knows or meets my grandmother, I do help desk work because I'm not even trying to continue. Yeah, I don't even try to explain what I do here. I'm help desk.
Easy
I just vote in and fix computers.
Kind of gives
I just tell people I make YouTube videos. I don't make any YouTube videos. I just say I make videos. Okay, I get that. Normal people understand what that is.
Yeah.
We can explain it.
Don't worry, Matachi. If I meet your grandmother, I'll just tell you you're a cult leader.
That would probably be preferable to what she probably thinks I'm doing on the internet. But
right, it might go over better.
Yeah. Well, actually, that might help. explain in terms she can understand what Twitch is.
Yeah. Well, at least he's religious.
Alrighty.
man.
So
Yes.
we're gonna start this off. How I've been doing this recently, and it's been good to keep it short because I actually have a date with lots of booze and other Twitch streamers at the Austin Twitch meetup, which is actually I didn't know that it's actually an official Twitch meetup group, like official.
Oh, nice.
You know, there's one
That's
in
cool.
there's one in St. Louis, and then there's one in like Seattle, and I think there's one in Chicago. Or them ones.
There's one in Kansas
We have,
City
like-
that I found out about this year too. I didn't even know. I was like, oh, there's a group in Kansas
Are
City.
you in Kansas City, Matachi?
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri.
Holy shit! I need to make a road trip sometime.
Tack on some
Oh.
St. Louis. So
I'm in St. Louis.
Oh, well, there you go.
yeah.
Fuck yeah! But yeah, I was about to say we had like 300 people show up to our Twitch community meetup, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
You got
And-
shit faced with a bunch of people from Chicago and Kansas City, and just a bunch of drunken nerd shenanigans. It was awesome.
Nice.
Best time ever.
Nice.
You have one in your area, fucking go. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like a mini TwitchCon if you like Twitch, and it's not just broadcasters; it's fans as well, and anybody who
all
enjoys
sorts
it.
of people. It's
And,
great.
and you know,
Nice.
I know like a couple guys from CIG are going to be going to this one as well because I mentioned it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going too." It's like, "Oh cool." So like,
That's cool.
I met people from Bethesda the last one, and people from the company that makes Guild Wars 2 and a couple other like gaming companies over there as well. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
So but anyways, how we've been starting this in terms of discussions is we'll go to one individual person. They're going to say their what they liked, what they didn't like, and what they were surprised by this week. And then we'll discuss, you know, if someone wants to hop in and talk about that, we'll talk about that topic, and then we'll move on to the next person and continue until we reach everybody on the panel. We're going to start with the man at the head of the table, the leader of the Immobile Infantry, Detox. So, Detox. What did you like? What did you not
what did I
like?
like
And what it was surprising
in the
you
whole
this
week?
Yeah, from Star Citizen. It can be ATV, it can be
well-
anything else.
Okay, ATV. Well, ATV. All right. Well, this week's ATV was okay. I guess I'll start with what I don't like is I know it's all changed now with the lead up to 3.0 and everything, the burn down and all this, but I feel like it's very much a lot of filler and not enough killer at the moment. Like I like watching ATV on stream with the guys, and when it's like 20 minutes of these meetings where you're like a fly on the wall, you can barely hear. I can barely hear what they're saying
Right.
a lot of the time. Like I can't even make
Flies
out what they're
don't
saying
have
to each other.
ears.
Yo, that solves that then. I'm looking at it all wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. That is that bit is a little bit iffy. I guess I like the feature bits, the feature sections, the other bits, and the super in-depth stuff where we like get to see them inputting numbers into the forms and things during ATV, whether the developer forms, developer tools, whatever it is. That kind of stuff is it's okay. I think it's definitely geared more to people who are interested by the behind the scenes developer side. I'm not really that interested in that kind of stuff. I like the shiny stuff, and I like to know about how the mechanics are going and everything. But yeah, overall, this week's ATV didn't really hit the mark too much with me. But you can't win them all. They're always going to be great, for everybody. The good part, I guess, was it was nice to see that they're working on the turrets and the turret improvements that are coming in 3.0. I still think they don't look as good as I'd like them to be. I feel like the turret gameplay needs to be like super tight, but obviously it's early days. And what surprised me? Nothing. I actually expected Evo Cardi to come out this week and not last week, so I'm pretty happy with that. But no, nothing out the ordinary. Just business, I guess, as usual.
I'm a little interested because of the turret gameplay. It seems very early days as well, but it seems also like super early days. Like it feels like they're like, oh wait, we should have fixed the turret gameplay for the next patch. Let's get a team of like 3 dudes together, 2 weeks before if we lock down the code and maybe throw something together. I don't think they've been taking that as seriously as they probably should be in terms of like turret functionality based off of the ATV. So,
yeah, it's hard to tell because from a spectator's view, it's hard to tell how well the turret gameplay is operating from a video. But yeah, it definitely looks like it's still got a long way to go, and I was hoping for it to be pretty on point for for the first release of 3.0 at least. But obviously, you've got a while yet. They've still got a lot of time to work on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I loved this episode, and it's probably a little bit because the hype of it went to Evocati and all that stuff too. But I love this episode of ATV because even though I agree 100% about the behind the scenes stuff, we talked about in the Space Bro show last night. I love the behind the scenes because I feel like it gives context to like the trials and tribulations, other than just saying, "Here's a report. We have 7 bugs this week. Oh, here's a report. We have 5 bugs." Because I think everybody's just like, "What the hell are they doing?" But when you see the torment, you can physically see Aaron Roberts sitting there on the screen. He doesn't even want to talk this week. He's slowly degraded over the last 3 weeks from like, we just need to get this thing to Evocati, to last week leaning against the wall going, can we just submit builds the correct way so we can get this thing out? And then this week just totally like this and letting Chris do all the talk. And then Chris is like, Aaron, is that good, dude? And he's like, yeah, whatever, just get it done. Aaron take the whole thing entirely. But the one thing we talked about on the show last night was I really want to see, once we go live with 3.0, I hope they kill the burn down for right now. Until we have another emergency goal that they need to break down, we need to focus on these episodes having gameplay features of what's going to happen to give us a better idea. There's so many features out there, from everything even basic like medical, all these things, to not showing the feature, but at least discussing it.
Yeah.
What's their plans for it? Where's the direction? There's so much interest of all these things. There's literally hundreds of topics I can think of.
Yeah.
Why not show some of that? And then when we get to the next big build, then we can do another burn down. Just let it go after it goes live, and then that's it. It was kind of, it concerned me a little bit that they're like, okay, we got to Evocati. Now we got 17 issues before the next. I'm like, don't do that. After it goes live, let's stop the burn down and let's go on to the next episode. I just hope burn down doesn't become a permanent feature forever. I think it's good now, but after live, let's let that go.
It's very filler.
I think it's filler, but I think it's a good thing to have in the future. I'm hoping we'll never have another 3.0. And like this boils down to my biggest concern about Star Citizen, which is this the end? Are we finally finished remaking the whole game from the ground up, like we did with 2.0 and before that? Like, are we finally saying, okay, this is what we want? We're going forward from here and not changing the basic foundation, because there's no. It's not like you can't change the basic foundation. I mean, WoW's done it for 15 years. The vanilla WoW is very different from even the first expansion. But they spent a lot of time working on that first expansion to make sure that it would fit with what they wanted to do, and they do a lot of work like that. Most MMOs do, where the updates that completely change the fundamentals of the game usually have been taking some time. They've been tested, and I'm at the kind of point where it's like, let's just get this thing to a point where we can release it and you're happy with it, not like let's reinvent the wheel every time the new tech comes out or you discover some new tech.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time. It's kind of hard to know for sure, because so many of the things that they're trying to do are things that either have only partially been attempted or have not been attempted at all up to this point. So when you're looking at something as simple as like sitting down at a table to eat in a mess hall, I mean, look at how many different angles they have for you to approach it, and how many different animations to cut between, and how many different ways to actually click it. Are you going to sit down in the chair, or are you going to put your leg on the chair? Are you going to sit down and grab the cup, or are you going to sit down and grab the plate? Like they're building even into the smallest, most benign of features this complexity that I'm not even sure they have enough of a future sight to be able to say, hey guys, when we get to this point and this feature is built out, we're going to have this problem, so you might want to work on the foundation now. They might get to the point where, hey, we finished this feature, they drop it in and literally cracks the foundation. And so
But that's what's been
think
happening.
That way too much.
Yeah, but that's what's been happening so much. And at some point they have to, I agree with the other guys, they have to not do that. A great example would be the Titan armor, right? They talked about the Titan armor and they're like, oh, we're going to table it for now because we couldn't get the Titan armor in the hallways to turn around. I'm like, Titan armor shouldn't be in hallways.
Look,
Titan armor should be outdoors. It should not walk through the whole thing.
I want to see it in hallways.
There is more than enough mecha robot content out there today between Japanese culture and the rest of the world to tell you a Titan type mecha structure does not belong inside a building. Maybe a hangar, but not inside a building. If you're wanting someone to be wearing something like that, it's called power armor, and
Yeah.
it's about the size of the person.
Okay, well that's what
Like-
I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
because
that's-
look at the heavy armor that we have right
Yeah.
now. It's already
Yeah.
got the armatures on the arms. It's got the built-in armatures for the legs, so you're getting
Well, and
that
that's what I'm
additional
saying,
support
and-
and the strength. So like
Yeah.
that's technically power armor right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but
The
power armor
next
has to be
step
another
up-
leap beyond that, and that's too
Right.
much for indoors at all.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
like you shouldn't even be thinking about it as something that can go indoors. It is just no. I'm sorry. If you want it to be indoors, you're talking about breaching like a javelin or a Polaris or a Bengal
With a
or
punch.
what was that other?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
literally.
that's it.
I mean,
It should-
you're literally trying to breach the hull and
That's-
either
yep.
get into a large cargo hold, get into the flight deck, and wreck any
Yeah.
support they might have. I mean, you want to tear them apart. So you're
Yeah.
not trying to fit into these small spaces.
That's the first thing I thought about when they said he couldn't turn around hallways. I'm like, he should just walk through the wall of the hallway. It's a Titan armor.
Yeah.
It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But-
that's
That's one of my passions.
But that's the whole point to what you're saying, Nighthawk, that was concerning me. I'm like, again, they're like, oh, we'll just table it for now. I'm like, are they going to resize hallways? Are they going to go back and resize ships again so you can
Yeah.
have fire armor? I'm like, let's
No.
not do that.
No,
Let's
no.
let's
I mean,
not do all that,
Let's-
please.
Like at a certain point, there's something to be said about innovation based off of
Yes.
you've got limitations. Fill into this box. Like I understand breaking the mold is important, but fill into the thing you already have. And
Yes.
in some cases, that's what has created amazing gameplay. Like Dota exists because they used Warcraft 3 with the engine that they had and made a MOBA, which didn't exist before. They created a brand new genre with the limitations of Warcraft 3. Those limitations have defined the MOBA genre since then. Battle Royale, another good example. The Battle Royale genre was created in Arma 3 within the limitations of Arma 3 and with the context of Arma 3. And that has evolved into its own huge super genre that's been exploding right now. Those limitations in many ways not only define but also help shape the idea of what we, like in terms of like how the foundations work. Like we know that Star Citizen is a space game. Let's think about it as a space sim and then shape the rest of that idea around it. And I think they've been doing a good job about that. But at a certain point, you can't be like, okay, well, we want to add in moods for your character so that your character can get pissed off and turn this into a sim citizen. And it's like, come on, man. All right, I don't
That's
know.
exactly what they talked about not doing, right, Paul?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they said, we don't want to do this, but they're like, but maybe we should do this. I'm like, no, don't do that, please. Let's
Like,
not go there. Let's,
I
let's
don't
go more
mind that as an additional patch down the road. We need to get to a point where the game is released and we have the basic fundamentals down, and then add in more cool stuff later.
Maybe fix party system all the way and have
Yeah.
it so you can have a squad inside the game before
Yeah.
you worry about emoting your emotions on the game. I mean, there's some priorities there.
So, no,
But no, if they do power armor, it's really simple, CIG. Do this. So it should be outdoors only. It should be like the Alien style big stuff. Think Edge of Tomorrow. If you can't fit in a ship, make a special drop ship where you jack in just like Tom Cruise did. Game over. That's it. That's all you need to do.
Or-
Don't complicate it. Don't resize hallways.
Or-
don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Just move forward.
Yep.
or
Yeah.
or
Like if your 15-foot long power armor can't walk down a hallway, too freaking bad.
yeah.
Don't go in the hallway. I
Yourself, you
can't.
get blown up. You go, oh wow, going in there is a bad idea.
Guys, I
shouldn't
can't
do
drive
it."
my Cyclone in the hallway. We need to make this bigger. No,
Get out of the
Cyclone's not supposed to go in the
cyclone.
hallway. Just don't do
Cyclone.
it. You know?
My interest won't fit in here.
Yeah.
I'm
You know, are you gonna have people walking in power armor through Arctech? Hell no. The UEE NPCs would be like, that guy's in power armor. We have to take him down because that's not supposed to happen.
yeah,
Here.
it's like you see
Open in the
tanks.
hallway.
You see tanks
Don't do
driving
it.
down the middle of the road. That's not LA,
No.
you know, or
No.
you know, whatever. No,
Don't
like
do that.
this. And in fact, I was just even thinking, like, even a cool idea for like thinking within the box is, okay, we have ships. They need to be able to carry power armor, but they're too big. Why doesn't the power armor collapse into like a
Like the
right.
dragonfly.
Transform and crush the pilot
like
inside.
boxes.
well, no, so like you hit a
Yeah.
button and it pops out, and then
Yep.
you hop in and you walk around on it. And when you're
Yep.
done with it, you walk back, you get out, and you hit a button. It goes
Yep.
into like a box
Absolutely.
that you can
Wait,
carry.
how's
on
it
the-
go?
Yep. And we need the sound effect for audio sampling
Yeah,
for CIG.
I need to.
Okay, hold on. It goes. There we go.
Perfect.
There we go.
All right, got it.
CIG, you
Spot on.
can pay me in ships, for using
Yeah.
that sound effect.
There you
Now,
go.
I'm telling you, that's the best idea. You have it collapse like that, and if you want it hot deployable, it needs to have a special transport ship for it, and that's the only
Yeah.
thing it's used for. There you go.
Yeah,
Great.
and it's simple and easy, and you can even if it's a big thing, you can easily put it down into like a couple SCU like cargo bags.
Yeah, like
So-
an Aurora could hold one if you want to. I mean,
Yeah.
you should make it available for everybody, whatever size. But if you wanted to be able to drop like 6 troops in power armor or in Titan armor, they'd make a special drop ship for that exact purpose. Otherwise, it has to be packed
Yeah.
and be done. So,
Okay.
like it.
I mean, I had visions of like Warhammer 40k Terminators walking down hallways. That was the kind of size I was
they don't
thinking.
walk; they
But,
teleport.
again, that's
Come
power
on,
armor.
bro.
They teleport in.
Terminators
They can't
still power
teleport
armor.
everywhere.
Yes, they
They
do.
teleport everywhere.
There goes the bathroom.
Well,
Where's the toilet paper?
Terminators is really like if you guys have seen the stuff they've showed off with the heavy marine and the heavy outlaw. That really that screams Terminator to me in terms of like Warhammer 40k perspective. Though I do
Right.
I do agree that like you don't see like heavy marine armor with like miniguns like you do with like the minigun hands like you see with Terminator power armor
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Terminator
So,
power armor, serious business.
I would like, and that's
It is.
that actually goes into the point where like I kind of want to have different levels of Titan armor. You have like the Terminator style power armor, which is smaller, and then you have the like all the way up to the larger stuff. But again, we don't even need that.
You've lost me now.
My view was.
Are we got the AA Terminator power armor too?
Yeah. Why the hell not?
That punches
Like,
above
my
its
view
weight.
was that they could be super expensive. You could have these small pirate crews that put all their money into these mini Titan suits for taking over bigger ships. You could bring them aboard bigger ships, and then that's going to give them a bit of extra leverage. They dump all their money into it. You never know. Could be a great investment
As
for them.
long
or
as
it
it
could
can
be-
punch above its weight class, that's the
Punch
most
above its
important
weight
thing.
class.
That's,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It come with LTI. I mean, that's the most important thing. Who cares what's attached?
But
to
does it?
Perfect.
But does it have animations for cafeteria? That's the question. Because
Yeah.
Can we pin our own custom skins on it? That's
Yeah.
more important than what it does.
Will there be a bathroom
Star
attached to
Kitten.
it?
Yes.
Right. Does it have a toilet?
Exactly.
Most important things.
Alrighty.
Cat isn't random. This cat appears all the time.
He's not random kitty.
He's like, this isn't
not
my
random.
cat. This is just.
My cat. This is not random.
That's a cute cat.
So next we've got Nighthawk Zale. What did you like? What did you not like? And what surprised you?
Okay. What I liked. I really enjoyed this week's game dev happy hour. I had a lot of fun. I always really enjoy the game dev happy hours when they're creating something because anytime Josh Herman comes on, he just sort of falls into it and he has this rhythm that's like right from the start and he just pulls out shapes and creates this awesome looking stuff. But as he's doing it, he's explaining what he's doing. He's explaining why he's doing it. He's talking about the different tools that he's using within the software. He's talking about the software itself. And as someone who does 3D modeling on the side and went to school and learned a little bit about pixel logic, it's a lot of fun for me to get that sort of stuff. So I really enjoyed it. Plus, I mean, Space Whale. It's only
He's a
taken
natural streamer in that respect. Yeah.
4 years, something like that. Yeah, he really is. But we finally got Space Whale, so I'm very happy about that. Something I didn't like, and it's sort of a continuation from previous weeks. I'm not entirely pleased with the way that they've been handling the releases of ATV since they've switched over to Burndown. I kind of wish that they would just come out and say, "Hey, look, so it's coming out like really, really late on Thursday because we're having trouble getting all the footage that we need for the Burndown. So we're just going to start releasing it on Friday instead." Because 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night here on the West Coast, that's
the West
I'm watching
Coast.
it when I wake up in the morning.
It's already Friday for everybody else.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So why don't we just say, watch it on Friday?
I mean, I stopped waiting for it, to be honest. I mean, it was always late for me in the UK, to be fair, but I stopped waiting for it and waiting for it like it's like a scheduled TV show.
Right.
I mean, I'm never on time for my.
And I'd like to
I don't
thank
think
all of
anybody
you guys, for
so.
no longer waiting for it, because then everybody can come over and wait with me for all night long, and we do not go to bed until then. And I just tell people it's going to be midnight PST, and then you don't have to worry about it, because somewhere in the world it's morning, somewhere in the world it's afternoon, And since it's a global IP anyway, who cares when it comes out? I care, like, if it came out the next morning on Friday, it'd be midnight for somebody else somewhere else, and they'd be like, "God damn it, it came out at midnight on Friday." Most of us, yeah.
I think the reason why they
so.
don't do it, and I really hope they don't, and someone said this last week on the Captain's Table, which was like, I don't want to give them Friday because then they'll just release it on Saturday.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, if you have Disco and those guys doing it, they have another show every other Friday they're doing on Friday.
Right.
So it'd be even later. So it's just going to back everything up more and more.
And it's only a temporary thing. The reason why they wait so long is because of Burn Down. But like, I think the second they stop Burn Down, which I'm hoping is PTU. Honestly, I'm hoping that that once it releases to PTU, they're like, we're done with Burn Down. We're going to focus on
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that was my other half.
Because once it goes onto the PTU, it's like, who gives a shit? Everyone's going to be.
It's pretty well live at that point anyway.
Everyone can see it
anyway.
Yeah. Like there is no.
That was the other half.
Yeah, there is no. Let me get you a.
Space metal.
I do hope they keep it up till at least PTU though. I'm fine with that. It's just as long as that's the cutoff until they come out with another major build like 4.0 or something, and then they could reinstitute Burn Down if they want. If there is trouble and if it is, all that stuff, so we can follow.
I want them to come back to the studio reports. The monthly studio reports were just fantastic.
Oh, dude.
I think the studio reports though are, excuse me, but it's just me. I think they're pointless in this point, because even though they were cool and you saw snippets and everything, I want them to change it out with gameplay features, because since every studio is working on the same things, let's just do it like this is the feature.
Well,
this is the whole feature that we're going to focus on. Not just one studio does anything there. You can tell it from the Burn Down. They all work on the same build through all the cycle.
I think you're a little fatigued though. I think you're fatigued because we've had so much filler for ATV over the last month because of 3.0. But like, because in the past that's what they've been doing. They did a studio report, and then the second thing they talked about was a feature of some kind, some feature they've been working on.
I think
they started kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for the last few.
They're
weeks.
talking about fucking turrets.
What do we have to do?
turrets are hugely important.
They are, but I mean, come on, man.
They're the most.
Turrets
are the most important gameplay feature for multi-crew that we have available right now. That's what makes it multi-crew.
That's exactly.
Maybe for combat pilots.
Oh, what's the most important available gameplay feature for multi-crew right now that you could play right now today? Then, other than
right now today, well, the only thing available is combat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So right now today, the thing that they could fix and allow me to play with all you guys in one ship and you be functional is turrets. I want the other features in. I want mining. I want all these other things. I want you to be able to do all the console things. But if they fix it tomorrow, and I can invite all you guys onto my ship, if the party system would work, then you guys could all get in a retaliator and we would be somewhat effective. But right now, you invite people in there and you just shoot at nothing.
I think it just chose the topic for next week's ATV, the party system.
The party system.
The party system.
And somebody in chat said, all right, 2 weeks out from now, the elevator button.
The elevator button.
We can all group up and ride the elevator together.
But I mean,
But at the same time, I mean, you can still go back to the studio report and do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess.
with the studio report, one of the things that I liked about it is it wasn't verbatim, but it was basically every week you're getting 1/4 of the studio monthly report. And so whether or not you want to sit down and read that TLDR style studio report,
by the way,
you can
that's
just go back and watch the last 4 ATVs.
That's TLDR, and that takes you 4 hours to read. Like, if you want to
Exactly.
actually digest.
Not a lot of people want to do it. And a lot of these studio reports are literally just a regurgitation of the content from these ATV episodes with the studio report in them. Plus, when we go back to stuff like the studio report, it gives us an opportunity for, or rather, it gives CIG an opportunity for them to bring us content that would cover things like future features, things coming up in the near future. The first thing for me that comes to mind is somebody please give us a 5, 10, 20-minute video on how the flying F do we understand this new component rating system? ABCDXY 1 2 3 Alpha Bravo Tango what?
Don't worry, it'll change in about 6 weeks again.
I know, but they're so hyped about this new ship matrix coming out, and they were showing pictures of this new ship matrix and how it's going to look and how it's going to read in the studio monthly report. And I'm looking at this thing going, what the hell am I looking at? Because I'm seeing it and I just don't understand what to read. So they need to come in and they need to revisit with the community for those of us who don't understand what's been presented, and for those of us who've never heard it. This is what a civilian component is. This is what an industrial component is. This is what a competition component is. And it's very simple to go A, B, C, D, red, yellow, blue, green. Like we can understand those basic rating systems, but tell us what these categories are. Tell us what the importance and significance of us going with, say, a competition component for a power plant versus an industrial one, or any other way. And no one's really sat down and done that yet, but it's ATV that affords them those opportunities, and that's what they need to get back to. With Evocati, that's what we've been waiting for. It's no longer just 3.0 in the hands of the devs. Now the community is working on it. Don't tell me how many bugs until the next group. I don't want to know about the next group, because there's a chance I'm not part of the next group. I just want to know when it's hitting live. And when it hits live, go about your business. But the format needs to change. It's been the same for too long.
I mean, I feel like with that, though, I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome if they were to cover things that, one would hope that would be set in stone. But the issue is if they make a proper full feature on something like that and say, this is how it is, this is how it's going to be, in a year or two time, when it's actually been implemented and it's not the same, people will start to go, but that ATV,
right. And that's exactly why they stopped doing the literary deep dives. I mean, look at those deep dives they gave us. What is it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, where they were talking about medical, where they were talking about mining, where they were talking about all these, and they kept giving these caveats. We don't know if this is going to be the final product, but this is our plan. This is how we would like it to execute. This is how we would like it to look. What are your thoughts? And because it's been so long, it's okay to revisit that stuff. Yeah, reinvigorate the community, reintroduce them to those concepts. And I mean, even if you're still in the same place you were 2 years ago, just let us know. But at least we know you still plan on working on that at some point.
It would kill a lot of the wild speculation I see doing a lot of sort of, well, I shouldn't say a lot of damage, minimal damage, like in sort of turning the rumor mill where there's just this shit flying around.
But tack on, what will Reddit talk about without that? Think of shit posters on Reddit. What will they do?
Well, that's not wild speculation. Isn't shit posting?
It's shit posting.
No. Shit posting is
fuel
something
for the fire. There is always fuel for the fire.
Yeah. No, but I agree. I think if you have these deep dives again, why not have a deep dive just like what they do when they roll out a new ship, and then do a Q&A the following week about it. Let us ask like a few questions you pull about that gameplay feature or something. Hey, and we all understand. I mean, if you've been back in this game for over, a year, you by now should understand nothing's set in stone. But at least it gives us some sort of direction to kind of talk about. Because, like, I believe the last interview I saw over at Gamescom, where I can't remember the gentleman, but the guy from Russia who did that interview with Chris real quick after it, and he asked about the Death of the Spaceman doc, and Chris said, yeah, it's 100% right. That's 100% exactly how it is. Well, that raises so many more questions of mine with all these new mechanics that came in. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's the same, because what about all this stuff that's happened over the last 3 years? Because, those type of things, I don't think everybody should necessarily just have to wait till some streamer or some content creator gets a one-on-one with Chris Roberts or Aaron. We should be able to, like, every once in a while, just visit every 6 months or something, a gameplay feature. And let's just you can pick 10 questions out of our forum list, like you do with all the ships, and then just answer those. Just give us a little something. I think that's good.
Yeah, just like a 6 months town hall meeting. Because it doesn't need. Let's be honest. Chris and Aaron are great, but they are like leaders. They're not
the worst at answering questions to the public, because they'll just say, "Oh yeah, they could do that. We can do this. We can do that."
Get me the guy who's in charge of Death of the Salesman. The dude who's like, my job is to manufacture how the
Death of a what?
He's thinking of plays.
Death of a Salesman. Yeah. Give me the guy who wrote Death of a Salesman. No, give me the guy who's in charge of Death of a Spaceman. The guy who's in charge of the mining. Like when we have Tony Z when he talks about subsumption. Yeah. That's great, because Tony Z will sit there and not shut up about subsumption for 2 hours, because he's got all these ideas, because he's the guy in charge of subsumption. And
if they come back and they say, hey, we don't have time for a town hall, I'm okay with that. Let's just do the same way they do the ship Q&A. We submit some questions. The next week they put out a post That's fine. It doesn't have to be a live broadcast every time we have some questions about something.
Mm-hmm.
I love those, but let's just address some things. It's like, hey, we thought we'd do this little write-up, and this is kind of what it is. This is the design doc, and we've fleshed it out a little bit more since then. Because if they haven't worked on any of those, they're like, oh, well, we haven't worked on them since then. That would be super concerning to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, last answer, thing that surprised me most this week. Yesterday, Disco announcing that the Karak is now in production. Specifically, he said, and I'm not going to remember it verbatim, but he was saying the interior is back in white box. So now they're finally fleshing out the interior, everything that wasn't done. Because when they went to concept with it and they did the concept sale, they had the exterior shapes built out. They had those, 3 or 4 cargo modules that pop off. They had the interiors of those cargo modules built out so they could show it off. And all they had for the interior was the 2-story bridge. That's it. Everything else was completely emptied out. So I'm really excited to see them flesh out the interior without really visiting, at least as far as we know, without really visiting the exterior look. The exterior look is phenomenal, but I think the most important thing for this ship is the internal layout. So depending on how the internal layout plays out, I'm hoping it gets a little bigger, like a little wider.
The Titans, man.
Bigger than
accommodate them Titans.
Titan armor.
I need to put 5 Titans side by side.
Like I was going to say, because when I think of deep space exploration, I think of a giant mech.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to have those. Just to walk around your ship.
If we find alien life, we have to be able to kill it, right?
With a power loader, yes.
Especially if they're blue. Especially if they're blue.
Giant mech with a vacuum.
Just in case. We come in peace, shoot to kill.
All right, Meyer, how about you? You're 3.
All right, so this week, well, I mean, I think the first one has to be most definitely this week, right? Well, on Citizens of the Stars, the Astro Pup actually got interviewed. By Mr. Tyler Ricken. Yeah, so that was awesome. Congratulations on that, man. That's so. Did you drive there or
So I live about 30 minutes away from the office. So and my work is about 30 minutes away from the office. So I was able to drive from work to there after work and then to home. But Tyler just contacted me and said, "Hey, you want to be on Citizen Stars?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." And he goes, "Cool. You want to do it on Skype or do you want to come in? Because you live in town, so it's much easier." Like, I'll just come in. So I came into the studio. It was cool to be there. I flubbed up a couple times, even in the final take. I flubbed up a couple times. And the one thing that people would come into my chat and be like, "Paul, why your hair is so gray in that video, but your hair is not that gray when I'm on stream?" I'm like, this is my hair. There's no way I can adjust the lighting on in my stream to make it look more gray. My sides
don't have the hair lamp.
My sides are very gray, and I've got some salt and pepper up here. But generally speaking, I've got brown hair with salt and pepper in it. But everyone's like, someone said you look so blonde on stream. I'm like, how fucked up is my lighting that I look blonde? But
Blonde, really?
It was good. It was a good experience. It was nice to be able to do it, and I'm proud to say that I'm the second person to ever been live interviewed on Citizens of the Stars. The first being Pyrophoric. So, and both of us were there to also shill for VerseCon, or not shill, promote.
Of course.
So this was last week, but the X1 actually got its concept sale or whatever, and I'm sad that I didn't purchase the red skin thing. It's a beautiful ship. I mean, I think that they've actually gone on record as saying that they were not really thinking about touching on the 300 series much more than it is, in terms of its shape, but they might go ahead and change the textures and stuff so it's more in line with everything else, like the 85X and then this new bike and the other ships. But I like this ship. It looks more Origin. It looks like it's part of that family. I just hope that now they go back to the 300 series and they really do give it a good once over, both externally and internally, because for a ship that's supposed to be a luxury ship, it is so barren on the inside. It's actually quite saddening.
Barren.
Yeah, it's have you gone inside a 300 series recently? It's I mean like it's
I try not
There's
to.
nothing.
I mean we have it like as the
Garbage.
subscribership of this month. Like there are 5 of them, the 5 starter ships of 1.0, and yeah, it's just sad. So
It's-
hopefully we get it's
It was completely untouched since 1.0. The interior has not changed at
Yeah.
all since 1.0.
it has not changed.
No,
Yeah.
since point 8.
No.
So I can't wait to see how they fix that to make it more in line with the current gen of ships. Like the new Aurora that we saw at Gamescom, for instance, the new Cutlass that we saw at Gamescom. That caveat, just so I don't. But like yeah, those things look really good. I'd love to see the 300 series maybe not get that much attention because otherwise then the Mustangs need that attention too, and there's so many variants. But yeah, X1 is a really nice bike. I wish I got one with the cool limited skin. I guess I'll get one in game.
I just can't wait for
although
that Star Kitten skin for the X1. That's
Oh,
sick.
dude, yeah.
I love the entry,
Those
the
Meowscenary.
entry point on the X1. That was cool.
The Meowscenary skins. I want them to stop calling them Star Kitten skins and people start referring to them as Meowscenary skins. So I've got this. I have this crazy idea.
Meowscenary.
I have this crazy idea where I get
Tacon's turned his back on you.
trying to get people to put the Star Kitten skins on their ships if they're like pirates or if they're like really hardcore mercenaries. Only because I want the idea that the sight of the Star Kitten skin will scare the shit out of people. And I want people to start calling
it's
them-
a Star Kitten Idris.
Yeah, exactly. It's like fuck me, man. We got to run because only the best players put Star Kitten on their because there's a little bit of fuck you. There's a little bit of fuck you in wearing a pink skin with a fucking Hello Kitty space cat on it, just destroying you over and over again. That's a little bit of a I'm gonna rub shit in your face.
So,
I love Mitachi's expression when I said Star Kitten Idris. He was just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So no one likes Star Kitten. But
I'm just waiting for them to get sued by Hello Kitty eventually when
Yeah.
the game gets really popular and be like, hey, that's our shit. And they're going to go, oh, no, it's Star Kitten. And they'll be like, yeah, probably not.
yeah.
No, no way.
Talk to our lawyers about that.
Yeah.
So I've endeavored to create an organization called the Meowscenaries, and
God.
giving everyone crazy, like ridiculously cute kitten nicknames, like Mr. Cuddles. So the idea that people are coming in, that Mr. Cuddles jumps in and everyone's like, "Oh Jesus Christ, run! It's Mr. Cuddles. He's gonna hit you with a torpedo and eat your intestines." Decorates his ship.
I will self-destruct before I utter run, fleet. It's Mr. Cuddles. I would say to self-destruct. We're gonna call it now.
You still,
Scuttle the ships.
you killed yourself because Mr. Cuddles. He's just
Because
too good.
I killed myself because I just can't.
he literally
he hasn't
couldn't
finished
even.
hitting self-destruct.
Yeah, I just can't.
Flame.
Oh, alrighty. Was there anything that surprised
but-
you, Meyer?
Surprising. Nothing surprising. Nothing like truly surprising. But I guess the lore posts that they release every Tuesday are something that are really big for me. Like it's in terms of I'm really big on the lore, and I will happily lose. Gladly, I'll drop 25-50% of my viewers just to sit down and read lore because I love to read it. Like the huge pages and like it's not just words because the lore masters, they're in direct contact with every single person that's working on the game, and they pass around ideas. The lore masters say, hey, can this be possible? They go, yeah, sure, and then they write stuff about it. Things like beacons and stuff, they show up in the lore before they ever show up in like the game discussion.
Yeah.
And this week they spoke about mining a lot. And so like there were a lot of inferences in that as to what could possibly be happening with mining. I mean, a couple weeks ago it was all about like how difficult it would be to upgrade your ship. I mean, like they were like, oh, this guy had a freelancer, but he had this cooler, and this cooler was rare, and this cooler made his ship really good. So it was all about him having to get this cooler back. And the lore I don't know. It really paints the story of how the game will be at the end for me. So I just really like it, and I like to read the lore. So yeah, I was surprised that they wanted to talk more about mining when we know it's not coming out until like 3.1 or later.
Yeah, it's something I want to get into more delve deeper, because I don't. That is one of my weakest areas of Star Citizen lore.
I'm going
So
to.
much.
One of the things that I've always wanted to do is a lore series, because I too love lore, and I think the Star Citizen lore is very in depth. And Meyer does a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
Of like going through every week and looking at the lore. But one of the things that I really like, Meyer, about their lore is that it always parallels what they're thinking about in terms of gameplay.
Oh
Like-
yeah, all
like,
the time.
Yeah.
Like Booty Call is always their kind of insert for pirate gameplay. For those who don't know, Booty Call is the handle of a pirate in Star Citizen Universe who does like a blog that where he talks about like life as a pirate in the UE. And then they have like what is it, Sure Shot or something like that for the mercenaries, bounty hunters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking
They
of
have-
booty call, and I think I may have spoken about it before, maybe on the captain's table, but again, it's about like what could happen in future gameplay. They actually in one booty call speak about how maybe they might be able to like combat people just PKing for no reason, and that is in that booty call in that excerpt. It was like, oh yeah, I could kill this guy, but then I had to spend ages looking for his black box, and the black box system is already something that's in the game in the form of the Tesla missions, and we know from ATVs that it's gonna come back in a big way in this next patch. Well, if players start dropping black boxes when they get blown up, and you don't pick up their black box, then if somebody else finds it and reports it, then even if you killed somebody in unmonitored space, you could then become a criminal. So I thought it was a really, really cool thing. And that's just one small thing from the lore post that everybody keeps glossing over.
Yeah, no,
I still think it's pretty hard for most
It's a
people
good point.
to comprehend data as a commodity within Star without going through the lore and reading these serials. It's very difficult to understand just what data is within Star Citizen, and that is a very good point. I mean, yeah, there black boxes. You've got stuff like the Herald, where it has those individual hard points with those hard locked security data and encrypted. What do they call those? They're like lock boxes, but strictly for data, and they're on the outside of the ship.
Hard
Yeah,
drives.
that's what I'm talking about.
I guess, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
data banks.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a
Something
great
like
way to look at an absolutely great way to look at future gameplay, and not only future gameplay, but the sort of the devs' inner monologue as to what they see the social life of the game being. Because a lot of times in here, it's the social interaction that leads you through the actual activities of the story, and a lot of times it's those social interactions that will either create those physical actions or altogether avert them. So it's really fun to see. Really fun to see just how influential it is on the future of the game.
Matachi, what are you doing?
What was that?
Just staying in my little box.
Damn it, Matachi. So, Myra, was there anything that surprised you?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, like, surprising. I said maybe perhaps the lore post this week was kind of surprising because it was about mining.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, Takon? What did you like? What did you dislike? What did you find surprising?
Well, I like the Evocata getting 3.0 build finally. That felt really good to read. Everybody getting very excited about that. All of my Discord channels blew up. Twitter blew up. Everything blew up. It was just like, wow, something's happening. What's going on? And I was like, oh, wow, that's really good for you guys. I'll see you in about a month.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
My thoughts
Bye
exactly.
forever. It's like, all right, I gotta be like, yeah, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's not me.
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess that would also be the disappointing part. It's not me. Damn it. But at the same time, I don't know that I would even have time to participate in such a thing because it's just I've heard it's quite a bit, and that's honestly like when I was still doing Star Citizen streaming on a regular basis. That's all I did was let's look for bugs, pull stuff off the issue council, test it, reproduce, and submit it. Just boom, boom, boom. Just work. That's all we're doing. Why? Because I'd done everything else in the game at least once or twice already, and I'm like, okay, none of this is permanent. I'm not going to get attached to my UEC. I'm not going to get attached to my ships. None of this stuff because I know it's all going to go away. It's all going to go away. So I'm like, all right, let's just help test the game out. Let's break stuff. Let's reproduce bugs. Let's help out the issue council. So it's like I know I can do it, but at the same time, that was stuff I was doing on my own time. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I was gonna say it's a nice. I think the one thing that the reason why everyone's excited about it going to 3.0 ETF is because it's one step closer. Once citizens, once people have it, CIG has a very exacting standard. So most people feel like if they give it to people who could leak it or who could cause problems of it, even if they have NDA, it means they're putting a lot of trust that game is ready to go, that patch is ready to go, that people will enjoy this. But other than that, I can't really talk about it. So, what was your surprising?
Surprise? Somebody said the character already, but I wasn't super surprised by that, but it did come out of nowhere. So, I guess by the definition of the word surprise, that was a surprise. I tuned in right towards the end of the happy hour, and they were sort of wrapping up and making jokes about the space whale, and he's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, Carrick." Okay, out of nowhere. That's cool. That's awesome because that's one of those things that I think had to wait. It had to wait on a lot because there's a lot of stuff that had to go underneath the Carrick before it could do its thing, before it could be designed and to fulfill the role that it's meant to do. It has to carry people. It has to carry cargo. It has to carry another vehicle inside of it. And I think it gets its own spaceship too. I think it gets a snub. I can't remember.
Yeah, it has it was supposed to be a sort of like a runabout style shuttle.
Yeah,
we don't really know enough about it other than the name Pisces.
It's just nuts what this little thing is supposed. It
comes with an Ursa, right?
Ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it comes with an Ursa and.
It comes with an Ursa rover, and it has the Pisces shuttle. And the interesting thing is that that hangar is up on the topmost deck. So it's going to be interesting docking with it, taking off from it. In the original concept artwork, it seems like there's an airlock that leads out onto the ventral section of the ship, and you can actually watch the hangar door open, standing on the outside of the ship. It's a really neat design. So I'm very eager to see how it works out.
I think it's a pretty practical design as far as things go. I think the Constellation is impractical design because of the way you have to dock. It's like, all right, you have to fit exactly here. Not here, not here, not here. Here, nowhere else. This is
right between the engines too. Right between.
Between the damn engines. And
Proctologist style is perfect.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot better in the original, where it was right there in the middle of the cargo hold floor.
Yeah.
So two doors were supposed to open up and just drop out, but
that had to be cut for obvious reasons. Like, all right, we're gonna get how much cargo, but half of it's taken up by a Merlin. Yeah, hey, design team!
Yeah.
This doesn't work!
Yeah.
How are we going to unload the cargo, even if the cargo bay is back where the Merlin is now? It's like, where are you going to unload it, you know?
Somebody did an animation of that, because they asked the question, like, all right, here's how it works. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, Step 5. I'm like, fucking 6 steps to get some boxes out? Nope. Yeah. Back to the drawing board. Thank you. And that's awesome they did. I kind of like the middle ground one they had, where it was like it was like a bracket, almost, I guess you'd call it, for the Merlin. It's like, all right, just in here, and then and that's it.
Yeah.
Now it's like
just
a
cradle thing.
on the top. Yeah, it was like a cradle. I guess you call it a cradle. But it's like just fly into the cradle, and then the cradle will take you into the ship. So anyways, that's gonna be interesting. I think the Carrick's definitely gonna be more like the Bebop. I don't know. I know Myra knows what I'm talking about, Paul probably knows what I'm talking about. But the Bebop had a flight deck, and it has a front door, and it goes boom, fly out the front door. You're gone. See ya.
I watch anime.
I am an anime fan. I enjoy anime. I enjoy Chinese cartoons. It's okay. I enjoy Chinese cartoons.
Is Teen Titans your favorite Chinese cartoon?
Yes, Teen Titans.
Okay.
Yeah, Teen Titans go.
Best Chinese cartoon. Oh man.
Matachi, how about you? What would did you like? You dislike?
Oh, Paul, I know this game. Okay. I would marry
Jesus
the
Christ.
Wait,
going to Ivakani. I would kill the burn down, and I would fuck the space wheel. Done. Perfect.
Quick, to the point. I like it.
Yeah. Next.
He's been working on that for the whole podcast.
I had plenty of time. It went all the way around for the last 45 minutes. It's all good.
All right.
No, I think I answered everybody else's stuff.
I have a drink emergency. Can I address that?
Go address the drink emergency. I am going to take this over to questions and pull up questions on my phone, so it's a little bit easier for me to understand and read. But for those of you guys who don't know, we do questions here on the Captain's Table. ! Question, ! Question mark, ! Questions, and chat will take you to a link. You click that link, you go to type in your name and type in your question, and we will read it on air. There's a couple of caveats. One, you can ask one person, you can ask the whole group. Doesn't matter. 2, we are not CIG devs, but we are confused for CIG devs all the time, so you can ask official CIG questions, but we will give you completely incorrect answers. But, feel free to run with those to, the forums, and especially Reddit. Go to Reddit. Tell them the Astropub said something very specifically. They'll love you for it.
Also, I heard Disco Lando really appreciates you tagging tweets with clips.
Yes. Tag him in tweets with clips of this show. He loves that. He absolutely he adores that. But the other thing is there are such things as stupid questions. You ask them. I will let tack on at you. Just he will have full reign to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Trial by Song is my normal.
Reminds me of Vogue on Poetry, from Hitchhiker's.
Yes. It is a rigged game, I'll be honest. You can't win Trial by Song. But damn it, you're going to play.
All right, so let me pull up the responses here. Was there anything else anyone wanted to talk about or bring up? I mean, we've kind of gotten we're in that weird situation where, like, it's an ETF, 3.0 is an ETF, but we still don't have 3.0, so it's hard to talk about 3.0 stuff.
Like, last week in ATV, they mentioned the ATC, the Air Traffic Control Tower, Space Traffic Control Tower, whatever you want to call it. And they were like how they want it so that when you hail or whatever, this like Californian dude goes, "Hey, got yourself a landing pad," or whatever, right? And with right over there, and like with rendered texture, you can see him, you can see behind him, and if you try and like request a landing pad, he will talk to you. If somebody else tries to request a landing pad at the same time, then the automated like a computer will like basically serve him if there's no one else in the tower able to get that other person. So to me, that's like, wait, so the person who's picked up the call is a live entity within the verse. So I was wondering, and I was just like, I don't know, like, how people have been clipping through Area 18 and stuff, going to places where they shouldn't be. I would love to see somebody clip into the ATC and then just like record all this sound, and it's just like 4 or 5 ATC guys going, hey, got your pad over here, and it's like because it'd be really funny, and like to stand behind him as somebody, you hail the place, and then so when they hail him up, it's the NPC, and then just like Metallica behind him going,
yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, I want to see if that's possible.
The photo bomb would be great.
So somebody's going to do the finger roll from behind the ATC.
Yeah. Brad, there is actually a lot more to do with ATC. Nighthawk actually was an ATC in the military, or trained as one in the military.
Well,
so
not actually tower control. I was operations. So I did the other half of the job, but same.
So,
yeah.
So
you're saying you've outsourced your ATC duties?
No, actually, in the military, so in the civilian world, there's just air traffic control certification, and there's a slew of responsibilities, and you fall into like different departments and different areas of work. But in the military, depending on the service, they break it down into different and specific jobs. So like with the Army, you have air traffic controllers and you have flight operations specialists, and the air traffic controllers literally do nothing else but sit in the tower and run air traffic. The flight operations personnel are more focused on the administrative side. So we work directly with the pilots doing flight records and keeping them up on their hours and their flight physicals so they can actually fly. We help with flight planning and mission planning. We do weather reports. We stay in constant communication with Tower. We run local radio operations. So as long as our personal craft are within transmission range, once they're out of taxi and off the runway, they're no longer the responsibility of ATC. So it gets dropped back to us. So there's a lot of symbiosis between that, and I'm actually really looking forward to exploring that as a potential career path in Star Citizen.
That's what I was going to ask. So can I look forward to like a YouTube series from you with
Totally
of how they got it wrong and be like, this is wrong. Got you wrong. Do it.
No,
damn it.
No, it will not be criticism, but I'm definitely interested in going through and really scrutinizing the procedure and not necessarily trying to figure out how they can do it better, but trying to figure out how players can do it better when we get to a point where players can control their own ATC situations.
Yeah.
I'm thinking people with javelins, people with hope and interest.
Let's be honest. Not just that, but also stations and landing zones. Like we know that that's going to be
absolutely
a thing that people control. So.
Yeah,
but we know for a fact the first place players will have that ATC control as a career is aboard the ships that we ourselves control.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
If that becomes the case, or when that becomes the case, I'm really just going to channel my inner Air Force Proud 95 and just troll everyone. It's going to be the worst and best ATC.
Oh, yes.
I'm just hoping to see cosplay from Nighthawk with the California dude air traffic controller. And you'll be like, hey buddy, you can land right over here, dog.
Oh yeah,
Hey, buddy.
there you go.
You know what? I'll even roll a few fake spliffs and be like,
There you
what's
go.
up, man?
There you go.
I can't wait
you
for the
can
technicals.
Call this a
Runway
joint.
19, man.
This
it's
is
all
a
right.
joint, man. We're just gonna smoke this. Oh, A7.
Yeah.
A7.
I love I'd love to see the technical the details from that guy. It's like, all right, man, now you're gonna need to put yourself into landing position. You are fourth in line to land, and make sure there's a strong breeze coming out of the west right now, and it's so strong, it's stronger than this dankest shit I got in the office right there right next to me. But it's all right.
His manifest computer is like, instead of like your ship name or whatever, like his registration is just like dude 1, dude 2, dude number after 3.
Hey, pink Drake Caterpillar guy. Yeah, you can go to pad 32. Yeah. No, there's a guy there, and yeah, he's there. No, he's gonna leave in a minute. You'll be all right.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Just
32. No,
park next to
16.
him.
15.
Just park next to him. You'll be all right.
You can fit it in there, man. Just work it out.
You'll be all right, man. You'll be all right.
Needless to say, probably won't be working at the main sector of the UEC outpost. So it'd be like one of the cursor edger
My favorite.
areas there.
Some dump on the edge of the
Yeah.
Did you bring my snacks, by the way? Are you that caterpillar? Or is that the other?
I really
Our
want to
vending
see.
machine.
Yeah.
Fucking empty.
I really
man.
want to see someone like in precision mode at like 12 meters per second or something, just bump into one of the struts on Olisar and just stay there. And you calling them up, you're like, "What are you doing? Are we still moving, man?" Like I want to see that scene played out in Star Citizen.
Oh God.
Warming in.
I can't wait.
To,
I can't
we'll
wait
have
to
to
hear.
go through our IFR manuals. We'll have to all remember how to do an IFR and all that shit. And memorize it for simulate full realism.
Oh,
There you go.
I can't wait because it always happens when new players come in, and I know 3.0 is going to have a lot of new people, and I believe the ATC was supposed to be in 3.0. Am I wrong or right about that?
I think
I was
they
actually
were.
curious about that. I'm
It's
not,
just soon. I don't know.
It's soon.
don't
Okay,
think
so
it's very
so it might
I
not be
think they
3.0.
confirmed.
I don't think it fits in the hallway. I think they took it out.
So I don't. So I don't know about that, but I can't wait for it to be actually introduced, because the first time it gets introduced with new players coming in, we all have seen how much explosions happen when new players try to get into the universe. Just stuff explodes everywhere at Port Olisar when people are trying to take off. So I can't wait for like the panic screaming of the ATAC being like, "What are you doing? Where are you? Oh my God! Clear the area. We've got to crash. We've got another crash. I just told you. Why did you run into the other crash? You know."
As long as he's got wacky arms and that'd be perfect.
Panic.
How long do you think it's going to take for?
Hit the dirt here over on runway 22 left. We're gonna need. Well, they're probably all dead. So
Clean up aisle 4.
And, a couple of mop. And we'll just scoop that right off there. We'll get everything back into business as soon as possible.
How long do you think it's going to take them to have that sort of situation going on before they get? Oh, we need to develop a mechanic for these advocacy NPCs to pull you over and give you tickets.
I just want to go the Elite Dangerous route.
Where
just blast you out of the sky.
Fuck up, you're dead.
All
kid.
criminal infractions are met with deadly force. Like
Loitering,
you went 2 miles over the speed limit, death. Loitering, death.
Stupidity is a
parallel.
They've got to justify
selling fish without a license, death.
Illegal parking,
They've
like
gotta
parking in a
justify
red
their
zone.
budgets.
You put too much creamer in the coffee, death. Too
Yeah.
much creamer, also death.
I think that's a nice, fair, medium way to handle it. I think that'd work great.
It's about the best way gamers understand.
Runway 37, right? God damn it.
Yeah.
Make it
all
up
right.
runways.
So here's the actual questions, if I can actually bring it up and like it not be a derp, because I had it up there for a second. Drive. There you go. So first question comes from Fastcart, who asks, isn't it amazing that many of us were in LA exactly a year ago today? Was it a year ago today?
Was it a year ago today?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Not too
Wow.
long ago.
The second week of October.
Yeah, holy.
All but
No,
Hitachi and
wasn't it
Detox.
wasn't
I
it
didn't go.
9th October last year?
Yeah, it was 9th October, absolutely.
Yeah, for like a day.
I
And
was
a
gonna say
half.
Nighthawk
Yeah.
never left.
Happy anniversary.
He's still there.
Did Darginator, did his luggage ever show up? Is that finally there? Oh.
Oh, man.
Poor guy, jeez.
Actually-
Poor guy, indeed.
I think last time I drove past the theater there, it was sitting out.
Oh, was it the theater? Oh shit! Somebody tell him. Holy shit! It's still there.
He has the worst luck because he came back from CitizenCon. He apparently his car broke down on his way back to CitizenCon, so we had to pay for a huge like that dude. Just the cons and him just do not match very well. Like
Well, I mean, like, it's kind of his fault. I mean, like, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys go to Bar Citizen. I'm gonna go to frickin' the Nordschleife and do a few laps. And that's why his car blew up. And then, like,
God.
yeah.
Oh, Fast Cards confirmed. They got his luggage last week. He's good. He's good.
Okay.
Last week.
Last week.
All right.
Just in
Harold
time to go to Citizen.
Slightly aged.
Sparhawk asks, does Meyer Test wish he bought 3 -50 of those red hats to keep in storage for when the first ones eventually wear out? Well, I'll let Meyer explain it, but Meyer can explain the hat better than I can.
Well, I think the true question is, how many hats does Maya actually own? And to which I have to answer, well, that's a secret that's NDA, exactly, NDA.
I'm going to blow the secret and say that Meyer's actually the hat. So, you know.
No, Paul, you fool!
Everybody run!
It's not a question. It's not a question of if the hats wear out. It's if the Myers wear out. The hat just has clones in his basement of like Myers. So when Meyer wears out, he just puts on a new Meyer, gets a new Meyer to wear.
Are you saying that's the same hat from Meet the Robinsons? Sort of floats
Yeah.
around trying to take over the world.
Yeah. It's like Mario. Mario's not actually Mario. He's just a hat.
Indeed.
In
Well, now
Super
we...
Mario Odyssey. Yeah.
That makes
Yeah, you see, they actually stole my life and
Yeah.
turned it into a Mario mechanic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I feel
just
like we
saying.
went really deep into the lore here.
Yeah.
Hashtag hat lore. Yeah.
Hat lore. I can see a whole comic book series on this. It'd be perfect.
Fast Card asks, is anyone going to Concierge pop-up meetup on the 10th? I would. I live in Austin, but I didn't get an invite.
Concierge.
So there's a concierge, the black card concierge is what they called it. So I think it's if you spent a certain amount of money, there's a pop-up meetup that you can go to.
Is it set up by
I think you have
CIG
to
or
have
set
the
up by
card.
fan?
It's by
When
CIG.
do I get a black card?
I got a
You had
silver
to
card.
have bought it.
Yeah.
I got the silver one I bought.
I get
You
to
had
play
to
it
buy
every
a
other
card.
day.
You had
How much
to
do I
buy
gotta
it.
spend to get a
It's
black
done.
card?
They're done.
I think Paul
One
got
time.
that.
Well, then how do I go? I got an invite. How do I go?
You don't.
Yeah.
You got an invite? Oh.
Yeah, I got an invite.
Yeah.
I live in Kansas City.
I
I
can-
won't be
I
able to
can-
go, but
I
I
can
mean, you
write
know,
you one. They won't let you in, but I can write you one.
I have the silver
It
one.
said,
Can I use that instead?
Yeah.
It did say you could bring a friend, so just bring yourself and say you're the
will.
friend.
I'll,
Like, well,
Matachi,
Hi,
Matachi, I'll just show up at the Austin one and be like, "Yo, I'm Matachi. Let me in."
There you go.
I can't tell
Yeah,
the
just
difference.
wear-
We're both
wear
large
the
white men.
glasses.
That works. You
That's
know?
right. The night
Damn.
before you go, I will wear a vest. And then they'll be like, see,
There you go.
look, this is
See?
on streaming or
See?
Matachi, and it'll be perfect. We'll get you
Perfect.
Perfect. I've got
Easy.
glasses.
in. Yeah, we'll make it happen. They won't know. We'll just swap out.
Oh, very nice. There it is.
Yeah. Striking resemblance.
One of the only ones that has print on the back of it too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did you make that yourself, or was
Shiny.
that part of the?
No. This is the official one you buy on the
'Cause
website.
I have the.
See,
I have it as well.
I bought this one, but I don't have the black card they showed in that picture because
Yeah.
it's different.
Well,
I gotta
That's
call
it's this one is the black card. It's just
But
not actually. Like,
They
Well, 'cause
have
it
a picture.
it was
I want the
a-
one
I
in the
know.
picture.
It was originally black. Was the original? It was the original thing, and then they made it
I
silver.
want the real one.
The real one.
I want the real one.
Sorry, fresh
Mine
out
is
of real
now
life, get you fake.
Mm-mm. I want the
I
real
have the Gamescom 2015
You know what?
one, the one that
I'll,
says 4242.
Yeah, mine's a little weather beaten because I actually took it out of the sleeve. Last time when we went to CitizenCon, everyone
Fool!
everyone had it in their sleeves. Like it's still. I'm like, oh man. I mean, I've got
You
mine.
fool!
yeah,
You're fake
I,
now.
I actually literally just pulled this out of the sleeve for the first time ever to
Yeah.
show you guys.
Why would
my
you
It's
do
sleeve
fake
is
that?
now.
so
It's
beat
fake
to
now.
shit.
It's fake.
Yeah.
It's fake.
I-
You
Oh,
fake
I have
them.
a spare.
You've lost
I have
your
a spare.
collective.
Fake
This is.
cards.
I mean, these aren't just cards. These are like metal cards. These are like
Yeah, they're
Aluminum.
truly.
truly metal. So
Oh my God.
they hurt when you hit people with them.
Sharpen one edge.
That is their
and
intended
make your way
purpose.
Actually,
Self-defense,
I don't think
yes,
you really
detox.
need to sharpen one edge. You just
Probably
go at the right
you
angle.
could probably stab somebody with this and kill them. You know.
They're actually the black belt cards.
They're like ninja
No,
stars.
I could kill a man with my card because it is made out of metal, but I still want the black one too. I want them all.
You want them
I
all.
know.
The
the black
shits. I
one.
want to collect it all.
only
He wants
have
to be the
two.
very best, the best that ever was.
Like no one ever.
Just have all the
No one
things.
ever was. I'm sorry.
I mean, if I gotta spend another 10K, let's do it. Let's just get this black card thing happening. Come on.
I think somebody in chat said they had a Sharpie for you. I mean,
Well, I don't.
That's
I
a
don't
good
think there'd
idea.
be a damn good Sharpie for 10K. I mean, I
and
better.
fast card, you're playing the wrong card. We're talking about a different card completely there.
Yeah,
Put it back in the
Absolutely.
deck.
Next question comes from BritisanCon, who asks, "Where do you see fan-organized community events going in the future?" I have an
Space.
answer for that. I think that because right now there are three or four that I've heard of in terms of fan conventions. We have BritisanCon, which was the first. Then we had SitCon, which is not to be confused with CitizenCon. It's in Germany, and then there's
Oh yeah.
Periverse, the Periverse, which is a French meetup. This is the
Oh,
first time I
yeah.
heard about that was recently.
That's awesome, actually, that
Harry.
they're doing that.
I was gonna say I've never heard of it.
It's a
No, I never heard of that.
They just put it together because their first Bar Citizen Paris was so big that it had like 100 to 200 people in it or something like that. It was
That's
massive.
awesome.
That makes a lot of
That's
sense.
Paris
jealous.
verse, a
You know what,
Perry verse. I thought you meant
Yeah.
Perry.
Yeah.
Perryverse?
Yeah,
What?
like
Yeah, it's like Periverse or something like that. But
Yeah,
it's
Perryverse.
It's Periverse, which is like a convention like VerseCon, and then there's also called versus VerseCon. And they're all the advantage is they're all in different locations with large amounts of backers: the U.S., UK, France, and Germany. And I think what we're going to be seeing is more of these Bar Citizens as well as these like regular citizen events. Because I mean, look at how many freaking anime conventions there are out there. They're just made by fans.
God.
You know,
There's 4 of them in St. Louis alone every
Yeah.
year, and I'm like, there's that many of us weebs here in St. Louis. Like, what the?
Yeah.
Where the fuck do you hide all year?
And it's not like, and Star Citizen community is obviously smaller than, say, the anime community, but as a result, we're just going to have less numbers of them. That's what I think. What do you guys think?
Right. I 100% agree. I'm actually a little jealous that we don't have the get across the entire country mass transit shit you guys have across the ocean there, because that must make things so much easier to get hey, let's do BritizenCon. All right, everybody jump on the train. Ha! Over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do that here.
Yeah,
you jump on the train, maybe 3 days later you'll get there. It's like, holy...
Yeah, they can't even get me to drive to St. Louis to go that one. I won't even drive north of the river. I won't even drive north of the river in Kansas City, because if I'm going to drink, it's a 45-minute drive and I won't do it.
Right. It's like Matachi getting to me in St. Louis is almost 5 hours. It's like stupid.
In the
that's
same
on the
state.
highway. In the same state.
Yeah, it's just
like,
spread out.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Well,
that's
it
not
took me
completely
5 hours to
undoable,
get to
but at the same
BritizenCon.
time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but at the same time, you can have an entire country meet up, like in France, Germany, UK. It's like, all right, everybody get on the train, meet here in a central city somewhere where all the rail lines meet up. We'll have a meeting there. Boom, done, easy.
Yeah.
Here we go, like, all right, gotta get a hotel.
You make it sound so
Gotta get
simple.
Well, it's
money for all that shit.
it's
you
a
gotta,
little-
it's like,
You got to understand that in the U.S., we really don't have a mass transit system. Like, you got to have a car. You got to have a car. That's
you gotta
pretty
have a
much
car or money for a plane ticket.
Especially you live anywhere in the
You're not getting
Midwest,
anywhere.
there's nothing. Coastal has a little bit, but Midwest, there's nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
I would literally have to drive 5 hours to go over there. I'd have to stay over the night over there and pay $100 to $200 to stay there and then drive home. By then, I could have probably just flown down to Austin.
Right.
So it's so weird. It's so weird. It's about the same distance as far as money-wise can carry you to go across my own state or fly to a state 2 below me.
Yeah, that was one of my, and this is probably the liquor talking at this point, but that was one of my pet peeves of people talking about, why are you talking so much about VerseCon and this and trying to spread the news? Like,
Big deal.
Like, BritizenCon does this without all this. I'm like, do you know how big America fucking is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at a map.
like we'll be like our hope is eventually that VerseCon will be big enough that it'll be something that people will come to from all over the United States or all over North America. But holy shit, dude! Like I all right. I went to my sister's wedding this summer, and it's in Knoxville, and I live in Austin. So we drove 16 hours in one day to get to Knoxville. Knoxville's not that far away. It's only like a couple hundred miles away. Like it's I think the max it was like 600 miles or something like that, maybe 800. So it's a lot, but we think we gassed up 3 times, and we have about 200 mile range on the car. So probably about 600 miles. That's 600 miles.
That's how big Texas is, Paul.
Yeah, that's how big. Yeah, most of it was spent in
You said
Texas and
16
Arkansas.
miles.
600.
16 miles to Knoxville from Austin. I drove from St. Louis to Annapolis, Maryland in 12.
Yeah.
Just to give you a perspective how fucking big Texas is alone.
Yeah. You can go. It takes like 6 hours to go from like one. That's the reason why in America we judge things not on mileage or in kilometers, but on hours, time.
Yeah.
Because something can be very far
Especially
away.
in California.
Oh God, California, you have to do time because like going across the entire state takes
Oh
a
my
day.
God.
Like going
Taking 2
north
days
to
So-
south.
California.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect example. Here in Southern California, I live 42 and a half, 43 miles away from the CIG office. And in the middle of the night, like 3, 4 in the morning, I can get there in roughly 40 minutes. But any other time of day, it's at least an hour and a half.
Well, that's
and if you
LA
want to
traffic.
do it,
Yeah.
but no, I'm talking about regular traffic. But if you want to do it during a heavy traffic hour in LA, that's going to take you about 3.5 hours.
Yep. Yeah, getting on surface streets, going 5 miles on surface streets in LA is going to take you about an hour.
Oh yeah, and,
Yeah.
and by the way, since it's LA, the freeway traffic that's going 5 miles an hour is no different from the street traffic that's going 5 miles an hour. And sometimes the street traffic is worse
Yeah.
because stoplights. Going there for different. I was working in film, so yeah, rough.
What's going on here? Hang on.
Don't worry about it. It's just stupid
All right.
things. They happen all the time. They like to troll.
Right, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but I honestly think that like in the U.S. it's kind of a limiting factor. Whereas with the U.K., I mean, like a train takes what 2-3 hours to get from like southern U.K. to like northern tip of Scotland.
Depends on which train.
Yeah, but
Fastest train.
you at least have a
How
train
much money
system
will you
that
spend?
yeah, the train at
The
least has
fastest
a
train.
has you can get pretty much anywhere or any city you want to get to through a train from any other city.
Yeah, it will cost you more than a plane ticket, but yeah.
Yeah. But with the U.S., it's the biggest, this is a bigger problem. But I don't know, like BritishCon's even getting bigger, isn't it this year? Because they just started fundraising for BritishCon.
Yeah. They started selling tickets for it like last month. So like we're getting ready for it, and it's June again. So
Nice.
if anybody is in the UK wants to go, it's gonna be awesome. The guy.
BritishCon.
The guy who made the set and stuff for Gamescom, the whole Ryari set, and oh my gosh, this is bad. I forgot his name. Anybody remember?
Right now, Meyer. He's in chat.
He's in chat right
He's
now.
BritishCon. He's judging you for your lack of.
Chris?
No, BritishCon didn't make the set.
No,
for Gamescom.
I'm messing with you, Meyer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say the pressure is on. You forgot his name.
His
Oh,
name's
John Rain.
His name's
John Rain. Yes, yeah, Brazil. Yeah, John Rain. He made John Rain. He made the Grey Cat it's called Grey Cat, same company, but they made where you the wardrobes you change into your clothes and stuff. He made a life-size version of that for this year's BritishCon. And then for Gamescom, he made an entire Ryari outpost where we played 3.0 in. And I believe he wants to make a life-size Dragonfly for BritishCon next year. So if you're around in the UK,
Wow.
That would be awesome.
So if you're in the UK, you want to go see something interesting, because the set that he made at Gamescom, I think all that stuff is now in Chris's office. Chris has Ryari in his freaking.
Can we clone him and borrow him real fast?
Yeah, for BritishCon, we'd love.
BritishCon, we'd love that. Anything like that.
Jesus.
I got the
It could
cons.
be a
What about
1
for your
to 2
office?
scale, like a half scale one.
Yeah.
I don't care. Jeez,
To-
they could be
to-
this big. You hold it in your hand. I'll take that.
And I think that's the key. Is the heart of the question is where are fan events going? I think the fan community needs to start taking over a lot of the responsibility for getting fans together, because as the game is being developed, I know Matashi used to play Eve. Detox, you used to play Eve.
I played a little bit. I wasn't into it, I would say. A couple of months.
Gotta get with the right people
I
to
did.
get into Eve.
I played it for about 9 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys,
I played about 8.5.
There's a great video that's made by some of the goon, one of the guys who was in charge of Goon Swarm, who he sat down, he did a panel at one of the Eve events, and
Which one?
the one that was in Iceland, the retro
One of the fan
FanFest.
fests.
yeah,
FanFest,
FanFest,
yeah.
FanFest. So he did a panel at FanFest, and his presentation was Eve is about people, and he kind of went over all the detail and all these kind of things. He says, but at the end of the day, none of this fucking shit matters because Eve is about people. And I think that's going to be a breakdown of how Star Citizen works. Is that Star Citizen, you could be a miner, a trader, a salvager. You can be a hardcore PvP. You could have the massive wars and espionage and all sorts of issues inside the game. But at the end of the day, your interaction with other people in the community is what matters.
I wonder if that's the one that Matani got drunk and got banned from.
No, that's a different panel. That was a
it?
different panel.
It was
where he
probably the
told-
one. It was probably the year before, because that's why they made it about people in the second year, because they got such bad PR from the one the previous year.
And for the people, there's a reason Matachi's laughing, and it's very dark humor. So if you're not
It
into
is
dark
really
humor,
bad.
plug your fucking ears.
Yeah,
Because
it was bad.
Matachi, all right, so Matani, I'm sorry, Matani.
Matani.
Matani is
Not the first one.
leader
Matani.
of the Eve's Goon Swarm. He's the leader at the time. I don't think he's still doing that. I think he's still around, as a concept.
He's the
around.
omnipotent leader of goons that
He's
doesn't
around.
do anything.
Yeah, but he's not around. You know what I mean? He could be around.
He just
at any
cashes
time.
the paychecks.
Right.
Yeah.
So he, no joke, 1 year at FanFest, got on stage on CCP's live stream in front of a crowd at a
Pissed
CCP
drunk.
event, and publicly admitted he was going to make a guy kill himself. No joke.
He was pissed drunk, and he was sitting there trolling people on their messages about them talking shit, And this one guy wrote this letter, and it was like really sappy, and the guy was sincere about it. And he told him to go kill himself, and I was like, and then he immediately got fucking axed over the whole deal. He like lost a ton of shit. He got off. He was on the big council. The goat flies out to Iceland a couple times a year to like see that.
Yep.
He got kicked off that.
He got kicked off that.
I was surprised he
idiot.
didn't lose an account. He should have lost his account over that.
But here's the thing. Oh, damn. We're getting into Eve drama now.
Let's
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you did that on Twitch,
oh
God.
my God, you're fucking gone forever.
you're gone, baby.
So what I am saying is, if you're a member of the Star Citizen community, please don't do that. At a Star Citizen event,
Please do not carry.
It
this shit
doesn't
over
even
to real
matter
life.
if you're a human being. Don't do that.
don't
That's
do that.
So
bad
here's
shit, man.
here was the takeaway from that, and this is what our organization learned from that, was that if you're going to tell somebody to kill themselves, you add a parenthesis in game and then you close
In game.
Like, kill yourself, parenthesis in game, close. It would say there, and then you're safe. You're good.
I hope you
That
all
was the
die
out. That's
by
the
losing
out.
hit points.
But not in real life, guys.
OOC.
next question.
Oh, see.
Next question comes from Edison Trent 7112, who asks, I wonder, do you guys think that CitizenCon concept will be the mobile station, since it looks good and will definitely be a chance to give dynamic? What are you guys viewing this?
Mobile station.
Like,
You talking about the boosts and stuff? Or
he said concept to be a mobile station, like a mobile space station.
So based on everything I've been told up to this point, I do believe that the CitizenCon ship that they're unveiling is going to be a game changer.
The game changer.
A game changer, you say?
Let's discuss whatever shall this game changer be. Please, CIG, please let us discuss again for the not millionth time in the history of time.
Well, I think everybody thinks it's going to be a construction ship because they said civilian, and because they killed all my hopes and wild guesses and all that the minute they said it was a civilian ship. I was like, oh, well, it's probably just a construction ship. Because what else? There's really nothing else there. When it was possibly military, it could be an array of different things.
I want to
Sorry
see
for your
a
ears, I
mobile
apologize.
barber shop. Still waiting for it, man.
The barber shop.
The barbershop.
That's a game changer.
I'm waiting for
where you
the.
can cut your hair.
I'm waiting for the
Game
roach
changing,
coach.
man.
I'm waiting for the roach coach, the mobile.
Yeah, that's
taco
what the lunch truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
The mobile Volkswagen bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, anything they throw down is going to be a game changer because
Oh my God.
263 has been 263 for how many months now?
Since
So
2.0.
anything you throw at us is going to be a game changer.
I'll tell you what, though.
263 since 2.0.
They've drugged this out so long, and Ben's let it stew and get hype. So if it's anything other than construction vehicle, if it's something softballed like a lunch truck, I will troll them for the next 6 months.
Here's
Hard
like
about this.
real talk. I wanted to say this to everybody in chat. I know nobody's going to fucking listen to me. They're not going to fucking listen to me. Everybody's going to get worked up.
What'd
And
you
everybody's
say?
going to have these really high expectations. Exactly.
It's gonna be something
Just,
free.
it's just going to be a chip, and it's going to be like, oh, it's a game changer. But like, just all right. So game changer puts the bar right here, right? See near the top of the screen. You should be down here as a fan. Just be here, and you'll be happy with whatever the fuck they put out.
Because there's literally been no
It'll be okay.
information.
Because
all
then
the
when it's here, you're
speculation-
like, oh, that was better than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm not really
'cause
that.
that's
hyped
literally
for it,
all you're
honestly.
doing. You're building up expectations that have no ground,
Well-
no foundation in fact, and so you are setting yourself up for a letdown that was not created by CIG, and you're going to end up blaming CIG for your letdown when in fact, from the beginning, all they have said is it's a game.
Yeah.
But even at that though, if it's a game changer, it doesn't matter because the mechanic attached to the game changer won't be out for another 2 or 3 years, so it won't matter. It's like
Exactly. We
it's a
don't
game
have a
changer
game.
in 2020, bro.
Yeah.
They
When
have-
4-1
have a game.
comes out,
Yeah.
How can it be a game changer?
I
Yeah,
bet
it's a
you
game
the
changer
game
when it
changer
happens.
means. So
I bet you the-
honestly,
Yeah, go on.
I'm laughing too hard at what Board said in chat.
Oh.
He said, that's what I say to girls before sex. Keep the expectations low.
that's just good life advice. You'll always be happily surprised by what you get. You'll be like,
Board
oh,
needs
that
to
was
add
so
that
much
to his
better.
T-shirt store. That would be
Oh,
perfect.
God
Have
damn.
it at a board gamer. It said keep expectations buy those.
Or you could have one that says "Game Changer" pointing downwards towards your penis.
There you go. That would be good.
That's
They're
never
good.
been done ever.
I bet you that Ben is regretting using the word game
Because
changer
it's
off the
it's
cuff on
such
somebody
a-
else's
it's such a
podcast.
loaded comment. It could go either way. That's perfect, Detox. I like that game changer. You don't know.
Yes, it's going to be a mint that you eat credits. Exactly.
I heard Mint eat credits.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There we go.
And I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
But I think keeping expectations low is important. Making sure that we understand that by that whatever it is at the end of the day, it's not going to be something that's so dynamic. There's no chance it's going to be something so dynamic that it'll completely shift the paradigm of how the game is played. The reason why they call it a game
Voltron.
changer, yes, the reason why they call it a
No.
game changer is because
God damn
it's part hype, and for them it really changes like how the game's going to be played because they haven't thought about it like this. But for us, it's a ship, and it's probably going to be an expensive ship. So
It very well could be some sort of a player-owned space station. That would be something they really haven't shown us before, because that's one of those things where that's the only thing that even comes to mind. It's like, oh, space stations that players can build.
Mhm.
That's the only thing we can't do yet. Like, in space, we all have spaceships. That's great.
We know the
Where do we
framework
go?
is there.
Pre-built stations.
The
Right.
framework is there, and on Jump Point they mentioned it a long time ago, several months ago. They showed this is a space station, and it looked like the space stations we currently have in 2.6.3. And then they're like, and this is one with a battery in it. This is one with like a generator with solar panels. And then they talked about how you'd be able to break them down and how they would serve different things. So it very well could be, because they have the framework for it.
yeah, no,
I think
definitely.
you're right. Sorry, I was reading about the fleshlight reveal.
It's like a reveal from Zockley.
How do I make that
Thanks,
a joke?
thanks,
It's
Zockley.
already
Now
Thanks.
that would be a game changer.
a game changer.
Thanks, Zockley.
Yeah.
We got the
That's good.
RSI branded fleshlight
Yeah.
integrated into face over IP, so you can give it.
That's right. You could have your FOIP and your
Yeah.
FAP all at the same time. It'd be
Oh.
amazing.
FAP over IP. There you go.
GOIP is what? Genitals over IP. Oh my god.
G over IP. There you go. SOIP.
Here are
Sex over
three
IP.
main engines.
It's not a captain stable unless we go into weird shit at the somewhere
yeah.
in the middle.
CJOIP. Circle jerk over IP. You just take care of each other.
All right. So my cat's bothering me, so I'm gonna have to pay attention to my cat. But the next question comes from BB88. Nope, you're not getting away from this. You want to get paid attention to, you're gonna be held.
Get him. Get him.
BB8 asks, 88 asks, now that 3.0 is in the hands of the Ikari, in your opinion, how long do you envision 3.0 being released to the public? I'm not going to comment on that for obvious reasons, but anybody else can.
Yesterday.
October 27th.
Hold on. Was that from Bristol?
Yeah, Bristol boy.
Bristol, I love you, bud, but come on, nobody here knows.
It'll be October 27th, and it'll be broken as shit like every other build that we have, and we'll have to struggle
There's
through
your
it.
two
Everybody will cry
answers.
about it. 2 weeks later, it'll be better, and then it'll progressively get better until we get to the next build.
Yeah,
The truth lies somewhere between either
Yes.
that specifically thing that he just said or what I said.
I'm sure ideally that's what they wish, but who knows what will actually
Honestly, I
happen. It'd be
think
great
Mr.
to watch.
Lando had the best answer for this question. Basically,
Ooh, I thought you froze it. You got me with that.
Yeah.
Man. When?
yes.
Though I think again, keeping expectations low, understand that more than likely 3.0, just like 2.0, is not going to be the peak of the performance, and that they'll release patches later that'll improve performance, improve gameplay, and everything else like that. Just because we've never had a patch that CIG's released that has been absolutely perfect when it first releases. Never. So.
Hey, how many times? Raise your hand if you were streaming Star Citizen when 2.0 came out on the PTO and we were allowed to show it off, and you had a crash counter in your stream.
I didn't have the crash
That's
counter,
how
but
prevalent it was.
I had a
Because
timer.
It became a meme. It was like, when's it gonna crash? It's gonna crash. Or a crash timer. Yeah. Did you have a, hey, here's how long I was able to play, or here's how many times I've crashed? Come on.
Nah, I didn't.
That's how bad it was.
It was bad, but
and I feel like that's prepared me for every PTU build now in the future.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
nothing can get as bad as that, but I think 3.0 will be
God.
close.
Waxley.
The initial 2.0 was just the worst for stability. It was terrible.
But it's going to be so much worse with 3.0 because we would have actually collected things and accomplished things before it kicks us off the game.
Yeah.
2.0
No, you won't
has
have
nothing
time.
to really accomplish. So
No, you'll crash before you collect anything.
Yeah, if
like,
he's
all right,
saying
I'm on
if
my
it's anything
shit.
like 2.0, then it's going to be another rendition of Crash Citizen where you're
I just
struggling.
hope, I really hope for the return of the helium ships that just fly away. Like when they put the
Those were
Starfarers
pretty
in, and
funny.
every single ship, you couldn't go anywhere because by the time you made it to the pad, your ship was like.
You remember
Why?
when the ships would spawn in really high up above the landing
Yeah.
pad, and
Yeah,
as
they
soon as you
slowed down.
walked into the area where the ship was supposed to be, it would slam down on top of you and kill you? That was great.
The
That was
Crusher.
great.
That was
Hey, listen, I still like my favorite bug is the step of death where if you stepped on it and killed everybody else in the server in
Wow,
Grimhex.
that's a callback.
Yeah, that was in Grimhex. The one step that everyone would just jump on. You see everyone die, fall over
Don't
dead.
do
Oh
it.
shit! I'd forgotten about that.
It was awesome.
Death.
They need a highlight reel of greatest bugs from like
Oh, it did
all
exist.
time.
yeah, there will be one.
All right. So the next question comes from Fastcart, who asks, "Speaking of turrets, why do some people pronounce it like currents?
Turrets
What?
with an N.
Turrets? With an N. Instead of
With an N.
Because
I
Uh,
believe that's
Are
just,
you speech impediment shaming in 2017?
I just call it
Come on,
Tourette's. So I don't, so
why do some people
That-
say nuclear and nuclear?
Mhm.
It's
tomato.
Are you gonna go?
Pronounce-
Are you gonna wash your laundry?
Wash.
Or
The
aluminum.
washing machine.
Aluminum. Well, okay. I actually have
Okay,
something
don't
about
spell
that.
it different. Okay.
Aluminum was discovered by an American who named it aluminum, and then the
Oh,
British,
yeah, that's right.
the British,
Suck a dick. We got it.
the British took it and said it's aluminium, and then everyone because British sounds so formal, and that everyone's like, well, British is obviously the right pronunciation because it's British English, it's where everything comes from, right? It's English. That they just took it. It's like that's aluminium. It's not.
Say that again.
Well, it's also more like everything else has inium in it. I mean, like it's not called plutonium.
Yeah,
You
that's true.
you added a letter.
What
That's what you did.
Paul's trying to say is we stole your country, but you stole our word. That's what
Y'all
he's trying
better,
to
we
say.
stole-
y'all better
we
give
stole-
it back, or we're
Y'all
gonna
better kill that.
We stole your language, but you stole our word. There we go. That's a better way of putting it.
That's an act
You're
of
outnumbered
aggression.
here,
You
Mark.
better
We're
give
outnumbered
that
here.
back.
Oh,
Come
Mr.
over
Detox, can you
there.
believe these people from the colonies?
I cannot believe it.
Excuse you, we declared independence back in 1776.
That's right.
How dreadfully colonial. Oh, my favorite story about England was that a friend of mine was at a cafe, and there was some hippies in a drum circle outside, and these old folks walked by the cafe, and with these hippies with like their drum circles and everything like that, and then the woman, it was like an older woman, said, "Oh, how dreadfully colonial," and then like continued to walk off, and I'm like, I love that term. Dreadfully colonial, you know.
Colonial. Yes.
I would have replied just how dreadfully cunty.
Oh God! All right. Next question comes from Musashi Industrial in Starflight Concern, who asks, "Did they ever say anything about whether or not cargo is going to be affected by being exposed to the vacuum of space? Is it safer to transport things in pressurized hull until you store the ship and unload it, or will it not matter?" I mean, pinatas.
The goal, I mean, like we saw a long time ago in ATV, they actually had like a very basic rudimentary version of the room system, and they showed opening the cargo of a caterpillar and the cargo spilling out because of depressurization. So that's the goal. As for whenever it's ready and implemented, that's when it's going to get in the game. But like, it's the goal.
Maybe
they
I
keep saying, like,
misunderstood the
doors
question.
contain. What? Yeah. What was the? What were you
Sorry.
going to say?
I'm thinking maybe I misunderstood the question, but it sounded to me like the question was asking. So let's say the hull or the cargo hold depressurizes. You've got cargo inside boxes. Does depressurization, the zero atmosphere, affect the contents of said cargo boxes?
No.
That's how I
If it's
understood
living-
the question.
if
Am
it's
I
living
misunderstanding
stuff.
it?
If you
Yeah,
have
it's
like
in a sealed
gerbils
box.
in the box, then yeah, they will
Well,
die.
I
Well,
imagine
no,
depends on the
not
cargo.
necessarily. Because then, if that in fact is the question, I would actually redirect them back to the cargo deep dive from what was that, like 2 years ago,
Okay.
where they were talking about how the fact that there are going to be different kinds of cargo crates for different kinds of commodities, and so regardless of whether or not your ship depressurizes for whatever reason, the commodities within those storage containers are going to be properly taken care of. And that's half the reason you can come up to a random derelict site and still be able to find potentially resellable cargo, because those containers actually are designed to protect the stuff.
Well, we know that they want to actually have some form of live cargo as well, and it'd be interesting to see if that live cargo requires to be within like a pressurized environment all the time. Because then you could have a shipment of live gerbils, and then if you accidentally vent them out, then it'd be a shipment of dead gerbils. You know,
gerbils.
A status.
Why is it always gerbils?
I was going to say
space
I would
gerbils are
love
serious
a
business.
caterpillar.
Yeah.
A caterpillar full of chickens would be amazing, because when it exploded, it would just have burning feathers everywhere and frozen chicken.
Frozen chicken.
You could also think about a Starfarer full of cows, because that's a lot of pie everywhere.
Oh my god. Anyways, I think there will be some effect of cargo, though, not necessarily on the vacuum, but the difference between external and internal storage of cargo has to do with how easy it is to dislodge cargo from, and how easy it is to unload and load. I've called Whole Seas, the whole series, a loot pinata before, because it's a loot pinata. It's like come in, shoot the crates, they blow off the ship, and now suddenly you got pirates who just sweep in and pick it up.
You know, it would be very interesting if certain cargo actually had like a spoil timer. You know, like, so for instance, like, let's say you had like a
an
shipment
internal
of ice
battery
cream.
or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I like the
That's
idea
pretty,
of time cargo. That's pretty cool. Because
think
it
it's
means-
That's a pretty common mechanic in a lot of games. Is to have a number on your loot, so that way, because it provides two effects. It provides incentive to get things quickly and get things done quickly. Also, it lets you clean up your damn server, because there's a lot of junk everywhere. And some jackass is just gonna, what does this button do? Oh shit, my cargo. Well, I gotta go to work. I'll see you later. 2,000 crates floating around. The server doesn't like that. To keep that from one day to the next, be like, no, 6 hours.
Yeah, you know all about this, Tachyon. Remember all the issues with all the assets inside EVE Online, where they figured out they had to get them to expire, because that was a huge server cleanup. They figured out they literally had millions and billions of assets on in all these solar systems, and they're like, well, they're not expiring fast enough, but we want to leave them out there for people to, have them. So I could see that happening here, but at least CIG has kind of a game plan already on how to expire things and do that.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say,
I already think about that.
Yeah, I've said this a million times. CIG needs to just look at what CCP has learned and take all their lessons, and then they will make so many fewer mistakes. Like,
that's what I always think.
It's crazy. It's like, just mimic them. Like,
Yeah.
not 100%, obviously.
Take the good shit, the
learn
shit they
what they
fucked up
did wrong, and take it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I always thought
and
that
I think
as
the
well.
last time they were talking in depth about the degradation system that they're developing for things like components, I think it was mentioned in passing the fact that they want to try and figure out how to bring this degradation system, once it's established, into things like commodities, and then you will have those timed things that, like, fruit's not going to keep in space forever. So
well, even
I would say
non-perishables they thought about, right? Because they mentioned that with the beacon system. They talked about how they'll degrade if you don't keep it. So they're already thinking way ahead on that. So I don't think we'll have that issue with the multitude of assets, as long as they haven't underestimated how douchey we as players could be. Because I imagine the minute we can spill shit into space, we will spill more shit than they ever have seen happen. Because I want to make a minefield of cargo.
I say we all drop onto the same server together and dump our cargo as we make circles around a single comare and give it its own ring.
That'll only take about
Hey,
as long as the party
CIG.
system works, that won't take 6 hours for us all to get in the same server.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
We should do that. We should do that.
Yeah.
Crash the fuck out of that server, and then
I'm
take it
filling up caterpillars.
CIG, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why isn't your game working?
Dude, I had
a
65
bug.
dragonflies in my caterpillar and I crashed into this planet. I don't know why it
And now I'm
broke.
getting
What
like 2
happened?
FPS.
Come
Issue
on,
cancel.
dude. What's wrong? Yeah, I'm breaking the shit out of this thing. when get it.
I do like the what Brad said. Star Citizen needs to be the mirror universe of Eve Online, but without evil Spock.
No,
Without
you're gonna
evil
get evil
Spock?
Spock.
Why? You gotta
You're gonna
have
get
evil
it.
Spock. I mean, evil
Yeah,
Spock
you
is
have a
what made
boring as
everything
shit
about the mirror
without
universe
evil Spock.
great.
Oh my god.
I really do, in all seriousness, though, hope that CIG takes CCP's take on interdiction and take a hard look at it, because I think they do interdiction really well
Yep.
in EVE Online.
Holy shit,
and
it's
it
so
makes
much
it
fun.
very competitive, so I really, really hope they do some
That
rendition
was-
to that.
yeah.
inside
Their
this.
their interdiction makes scouting worth a damn, because you have
It's
if you're meeting a
meaningful.
large number of people, you have to scout ahead. Otherwise, you could get fucked.
And you have a chance to survive, and you have a chance to catch people. There's opportunity to fail and succeed, and it creates amazing gameplay. So I really hope they do take a hard
That
look
was
at that and be like,
I
let's
didn't
do
play
that.
Eve much, and that was one of the things I really enjoyed the most was solo PvPing and addiction side and scanning
Yep.
as well and things. I know that's a different thing, but yeah, the whole
Still,
that
the
that
scanning's
whole-
very important with the probes and the triangulation. That was
Exactly,
really, it was intuitive. It made sense. You could find anybody. There was no safe space if somebody had probes, and it was beautiful. And I love that about
Hang
it.
on, hang on. For a little while there were a lot of safe spaces.
Well, too many.
Look, many safe spaces.
You just have to have your sister's gear, man. You could find him, bro. You just take a while.
It takes 3 hours and they're gone by
3 hours with 6 scouts in one system. Eventually, you'll find that guy.
the 0.00001% chance of hitting that at 100%.
Before he logged off, yeah.
Right, before he logged off. I got probes on scan. See ya.
Yeah, I'll log off. I'm not aggressed. I'm okay. Yeah, absolutely. But the variety they have in there, from the warp disruptors to the warp scramblers, so one shuts down your ability to warp, one stops your ability to even like boost, right? And then have the interdiction bubbles on top of that. Those 3 different types of mechanics that enable almost any ship to interdict. Also, with the bubbles, that actually we used to use them defensively, right? You could enemy fleet comes in, bubble them up, and jump out as fast as you can. So they work both ways. It's not just combat; it's also defense. It was really, really fun, and I hope they do something like that in this game.
We did that. Yeah. Anyways,
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Scroober the
Yeah.
Uber asks, if you could fix, quote unquote, the Vanguard, or point strategy to a solution, what would it be? What would satisfy you as redesigned, fixed version of the ship?
put the engine glow back in.
There's like one of my friends, Arctander, is literally that is his campaign, is to fix the Vanguard, and I think his concept was that the original design doc for the Vanguard was not followed in terms of
Bring me up to speed on this, because I
same.
don't own a Vanguard. What is broken about the Vanguard?
We don't even have all the variants yet, so I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of doing this.
Yeah,
right now, 'cause I'm like,
I'm not
it's
100%. The way that I understand that the people complained about it is that it should
ahead.
be a ship that is fast. It's not, and that it's also
For its relative size, it's not bad. I mean, it depends if you're talking about the same ship class or not. It's not-
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this kind of thing happens a lot in this game because a lot of things are in concept and they're not really real. And I really just wish that people would stop loving a specific ship, or like
my ship doesn't do this. My ship,
when it's not even done because the game isn't
Yeah.
out.
Well,
And
and
that's a lot of my replies to people like,
Yeah.
I don't like how this is. The
And I
game.
think, and Meyer also, a lot of, as you know, many of these design docs for the Vanguard and everything else came out before they did the entire flight remap again, too.
Yeah.
So much has changed from some of those documents and
Yeah.
that. It's like they figured out we're going to have these do this and that. So you can't go off any of those specs. I mean, half the specs on the website, they're
Certain
still
people-
revamping. So
Yeah, certain people are too attached to their favorite ships when it's a game in progress and they're meant to fit within specific.
the mechanics aren't even there to support their favorite ships.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and all this
I
business.
love the Vanguard as it is. I mean, as it is, I like the Vanguard, right?
I do
I
too.
like how it looks. I
So
like,
do I.
how it fits within the game. But of course, it
very
doesn't.
strong ship.
Yeah, but of course it's not like the best ship because there are other ships. You know, it has to have its pros and cons. You can't go, I love the Vanguard. It's got a bathroom. It's got a place for my friend to play and stuff like that. But I wanted it to do this as well.
Yeah.
No, there are other ships to fill that purpose. It's not about.
I really love the direction they've gone with the role-based ships because, like, there was a whole real big push from a small section of the community where they wanted every ship to do everything, and they stifled that really quickly. And I was like, why some ships need to generally be able to allow you to participate in a little bit of everything. Nothing should be the best at everything. That way you need more people and you need more fleets and stuff. Yeah. But my biggest pro tip to everybody out there, if you haven't gotten into Star Citizen yet, is whatever ship you end up loving to start with, it will change. Because they're going to add more ships and it's going to be different. So don't get overly attached. Just look forward to something that fits your thing a little bit more in the future. I think that's just the way you go.
I think the big thing about the Vanguard, and this may be an issue, is that because none of us really fly the Vanguard or fly it with the intent of using it as our main ship. We may not know what the complaints are. I know that there are people who complain about it, and I think the main concept is that the main complaint about it is that it's too slow for what it's supposed to be, which is supposed to be a fighter. It's supposed to be a combat ship.
Heavy fighter.
It's supposed to be a heavy fighter, but it's still
it's not even a heavy fighter.
But
the F8 Lightning is a heavy fighter. The Vanguard is supposed to be a medium long range fighter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought the Vanguard was super heavy.
No, you got like the dropship variant as well.
Yeah.
So
I feel like because it has a. Sorry, go on.
But I think that's the main thing is that people they start talking about it as like a drop ship rather than a fighter, and then suddenly people are like, but it's a fighter, and so then they start changing things around. So I don't know. I've heard about this. I've not gotten into it because I don't know.
I don't know.
But I mean, if the Vanguard is supposed to be like a really heavy ship that like attacks people and stuff, it makes sense that it be slow. It makes sense that it take a while to get into the fray, because that's why you have interceptor ships like the Cartual and the M50 that will find your target and then call ahead, and then your big guns come to take on the rest of the thing. If a big ship was always a first responder, then you'd never have a use or need for these smaller ships to be faster, or to get places first,
Yeah, the Vanguard to me is always, as things goes on and we actually see it. Like first time I saw it in game, I was like, they say it's a heavy fighter. That's not the description of it that I've always read. It's a long range, capable, heavy class fighter.
It has 4 class 3s and 1 class 4 on it. That's a lot of firepower.
I was gonna say, even if they didn't call it a heavy fighter, just based on the specs of what you have for shielding and everything,
that doesn't count the turret either, because the turret has size 2 on it as well.
Yeah. The damn thing is a light gunboat at this point. It's not a heavy fighter. It's a light gunboat. Yeah, it's crossed over.
It holds a lot of Marines too. So in the transport variant. So.
However, I feel like the name probably doesn't do it justice, because the word Vanguard is literally, and like let's open the dictionary here, it says the foremost part of an advancing army. So it is the first responder. So it is the thing that goes in first to break a line. But it's heavy,
It may also be, I think the other complaint maybe is it's too weak in terms of its role. It's supposed to be a heavy fighter, so it should take a lot more beatings. But I don't know.
I think we need all the variants out first before we can distinguish the difference. Because we're talking, most people fly the transport variant, and they're like talking about. I'm like, that is the most heavy badass transport we have active in the game. What do you want it to do? Do you want it to one-shot constellations and drop Marines off everywhere? Like,
the Harbinger variant will probably one-shot constellations while it's dropping Marines off.
It might,
because it's got a fucking torpedo bay in it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we haven't seen them all yet. Let's see the range and the variants of them before we bury it as insignificant.
If I recall correctly, not only does it have a torpedo bay, but it has missile turrets on its top.
One of them does. I think that's the one. They're rocket turrets.
Plus, let's look at the type of performance it totes and the type of performance the concept says it's supposed to have versus the number of ships of that type that we actually have in our hands as compared to the total number of ships we have in our hands. A majority of the ships that we have in our hands are some form of lightweight, maneuverable, fast-acting, very role-specific ship. That's what we're used to. We're used to the smaller, we're used to the faster, we're used to the more agile. and now you've got something that is a lot heavier, and yes, it is role specific, but it's got that long range capability that means it's supposed to be out on its own. So it has a little bit of room there. This is kind of one of those weird anomalies that falls into a space that we're still trying to figure out what exactly is this space. So yes, absolutely. Until the rest of these come out, until stuff like the F8 Lightning comes out and we can experience that, until others in its class or higher come out, it's really hard for us to judge. Yeah. Because you can't fly an M50, hop into a Vanguard, and say this Vanguard isn't flying right.
Well, and one of the biggest things too is we fly every ship in the game like it's a single-seater fighter. That's how we fly our constellations and everything, because you can't do multi-crew, you can't do guns. So since we fly everything, there's no way the constellation's ever supposed to be sitting there. I'm not supposed to barrel roll through Korea rings with the Connie, you know? I mean, you know, we do silly, stupid stuff with these things.
What about these people who are beating Vondel Swarm in Starfarers?
Yeah. I mean, and that's fine and it's fun, but really we aren't allowed to actually use these ships in their given role, so we don't see the value so many times in game. We know the apparent value from the concept, but like until we can actually go use these as a gas truck and we're making tons of money from like processing fuel and doing things, we're not going to be like, oh well, maybe I don't want to risk my Starfarer and Vandal Swarm or go over here and just like smash into the station like I do every other day, because it could be making us money in game. I mean, there's a lot of different things we'll be doing that'll be really set these apart, and we just need the game mechanics.
So I'm going to cut this off right now, because most of it is we don't know the actual drama behind it. Most of us, and I've only heard tangentially.
And there's multiple variants.
And there's multiple variants, and so it's more of a like wait and see situation. I think we'll see it like the Cutlass. The Cutlass took about 6 months to a year for people to have their hands on it and play around with it before CIG said, all right, cool, we'll take what you learned and we learned from you and implement it. It may take less time, but that's what 3.0.x patches are going to be for.
And I think, if my memory could be wrong, and they could have fixed this already, and I could be making a mistake, but I think the Vanguard used a bunch of shit from the Saber too. So
it was
surprised if they go version 2 with the Vanguard. Like, here's your version 2.
It used stuff from the Saber and from the Retaliator. They were all used from the recycled.
Patience, friends. The Vanguard is clearly cobbled together a little bit from other parts.
Oh, Mental One corrected me. It has 4 Class 2s, not Class 3s. So that's still a lot of firepower. That's still 6.
It's still a pretty classy ship.
Sustainable fire. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's stuck on what are those things? It's one of those fire. It doesn't overheat. Those weapons that it uses on its front nose. It's like the.
Oh yeah. Well, if you played it in 2.5, that thing was.
Housekeeping. Nobody click on that fucking shit he just posted. Seriously, do not. Seriously, dead serious. Never click that.
Never click those.
The Xano guy. No, ban that fucking guy. Unless you want ransomware. Do you want ransomware?
Yeah.
That's fucking ransomware.
Don't do it.
I hope to God
I didn't see that,
nobody clicked on that. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
All right. So, holy cow. Next question is he got the taste of being held. Now he wants to be held all the time. Next question comes. This is actually kind of good that you guys might like. Essentially, the question is, what modes for Star Marine and Arena Commander do you think beyond 3.0, like in the near future, that would be a good ideas to add to Star Citizen in the future, after the universe is done, everything else like that?
Can you repeat? Sorry.
So, what modes to Star Marine and Arena Commander would you add, like after the universe has been completed? Stuff that we don't have right now. So ideas for modes to keep Star Marine and Arena Commander from just being like, hey, we used it because we were bored because Star Citizen wasn't out.
Well, I mean, Epic did it. Why not PUBG?
Yeah.
You know, like Epic did it with with Fortnite.
More battle royales.
Yeah, more battle royales. But it's
give it battle royale.
Yeah, why not? Do
fun.
It would be hell. It'd be a cluster mess.
Who cares?
Can you imagine?
It'd be fun.
It'd just be in their Star Marine game mode.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
I mean, why not just make it a game mode? I mean, just don't start with weapons.
What,
you gotta pick them up, and there you go.
Let the FPS
like they can't get 100 players in yet. Let's start out with the 24 they get in there to begin with. And go from there, right? So first we gotta get Star Marine good enough to where we'll all play Last Stand together, even because that thing's a ghost town.
Eventually, we'll have a planet big enough to handle it, so they could do a battle royale mode on a fucking moon.
Yeah, let's get above 24 players
right.
first.
So I know this isn't like the question asked like very soon, like what would you like to see like next patch? What if they have like a surprise? But like personally, I would like it if like let's say when we get a release, like the game's released, like planet-wide PUBG in the actual universe, and so the planet itself has a cage around it that gets turned on when the match is on, so no one else can come in to stop you to like interfere.
But you can like watch it from like a space station, like in a bar, in a space station nearby. Yeah,
Sick voyeur experience.
yeah.
Like paintball of the future, because Death of a Spaceman, you don't really want to die, but like it'd be interesting.
Like somebody said in chat, the most obvious one is capture the flag as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they had captured the core and it was trash, so they pulled it out. Yeah. But with FPS, it'd be awesome to have capture the flag.
The other thing is some kind of the real big thing. The thing they really should do is simply just give us custom game options.
Yes.
Because if you give us custom game options, we'll invent game modes for you. That's how pretty much every game mode that exists today came from a custom game option from some game. I mean, like I still remember Halo with Griffball. Griffball was a thing that people made. I remember people playing I think it was Quake that they played VIP, where you had to like protect the one person who's the VIP.
Yeah.
It was a Quake mod or Quake custom game. I mean, Battle Royale was a custom game from in Arma 3. Freaking Dota was a mod or it was a custom game for Warcraft. I mean, there's like every single kind of game mode and in some cases genre of game comes from some sort of customization. So because I'm selfish shit when it comes to that, because I helped do SC4, and holy shit would I like to have a custom game mode where we can do kind of our own MLG pro type custom game modes. I'm not even starting to say that. I'm saying that unironically, but like if you played the old Halo games, like they used to have the pro or the MLG game modes where you had like one life, or you had like no shields, and you start spawned with specific weapons.
Hardcore mode.
Yeah.
I
don't think people are gonna like.
No,
I play hardcore
I
mode.
don't care about people.
But having
autistic screeching already.
Yeah.
I play hardcore every time I play on the Marine side, because I have no radar, I can't reload, and I can't heal.
Yeah.
So I'm playing hardcore the entire time. When I'm a pirate, I have radar, I can heal, and I can EVA. And I've reloaded the client. So until they stabilize that, they'll probably be custom. So
I don't think they should waste any more time on Star Marine or Arena Commander.
I think they should beyond, because they've got good games.
That's the only thing that's kept a lot of people playing this whole last year. To be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But those things, Arena Commander as the exception, I guess we'll just say Star Marine. Star Marine is not a reflection of what Star Citizen is going to be. And everything that changes within Star Citizen as the project as a whole is going to directly reflect upon Star Marine and Arena Commander. So they're going to be getting updated regularly just by them working on the project.
Yeah.
I think right now, at the current stage we're in,
Yeah.
I don't think they need to be wasting their time on it anymore.
And
We've
that
got
was
the basics.
That was
leave it alone.
That's what the question was saying.
Yeah.
Beyond 3.0, beyond the universe being set up, what kind of modes would you?
I don't think they should waste their time on it until we get to a state where we're in beta. They don't need to be fleshing out any more content for EA consoles. They don't need to be coming up with other Moby class apps like Hyper Vanguard Force or any other thing like that. That stuff can come later. It's just like asking, hey, why can't we play cards or roll dice when we're going from Yella to Daymar?
But I want that now.
We don't need to build that now. That's the base functionality of the game. The base game itself is not revolving around this smaller thing, and so for them to go and focus on something so small just puts them into this work loop where they're never going to progress far enough ahead, because they're taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps sideways, 1 step forward, 2 steps back the other way, because now they've got to go back over here and fix it so that it matches up. It's just too much back.
But that's what they do the whole time anyway.
But at the same time, like if it doesn't take away from getting work done, I personally don't care. Like, they've got nothing better to do.
And if you listen to what CIG
But
says,
do
it doesn't take away from their work because they have one team trying to figure something out, right? Like netcode or something, and they can't progress to the next stage. But they have a whole team of guys like working on FPS stuff or working on this stuff.
Yeah,
so,
right.
so
I actually was able
That's
to
what I
meet.
was saying. It's built into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually met
They
the
don't need to go out of
guy.
the.
The guy who's the head, who took over from Sean Noonan's position, who's now the head of the FPS team.
Mhm.
He's here in Austin. I met him at a Bar Citizen meetup a few like a month or two ago. So I do know that like they do have like teams specifically built into features that they're working on it all the time, not necessarily just for 3D.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Ghost Viper 2102, who basically asks. I'm summarizing these questions because they're usually pretty long. Which is,
Yep.
do you think with the new Delta patcher that 3.1 will come out quicker than 3.0 did?
I mean, that's the plan.
It's better.
Depends
if
what
it-
they decide to
yeah.
add into it by then. Is it feature
3.1?
locked on 3.1 yet?
No.
I don't think it's
Until it's feature locked, there's no way to
still-
answer that question.
It's
Yeah.
Could be
still like
another two.
3.1 is still probably like this compared to this. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
hope, but Chris got a hold of 3.0 and it went from like kind of this to like, oh my god, and then
actually,
and then it went down again, and then it went
I think 3.0 started here,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
reality said no.
I know, and
then they
I
then they
know,
started
I know.
then they started slipping things
And then,
in.
like-
So then it went.
Then they started slipping things more. Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. Until
It
like
did.
I don't think they said the words feature locked until July.
No,
Yeah.
August.
August.
It was somewhere in there. So that's the thing. Until I hear the words feature locked on the next build, there's absolutely no way to estimate when it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is,
Oh,
and that's
no,
just
there's no
true.
way to
It's not
estimate,
bad or
but
positive, but
Just
you don't know what they're going to sneak in.
I would say based on just what they had to go through to get 3.0, with that being so much foundational work,
Mhm.
I would say the 3.1 would be less foundational work.
I would hope.
More, hey, this is stuff that was supposed to be in 3.0.
I hope.
It's now coming in.
I mean,
It's integration of new features rather than we gotta
That
dig up 3.0 and replace
that's
it
the
with
dream,
3.1.
but they could also do what they did from remember we're on 2.63. They could be like, we're just gonna skip 3.1 and 3.2. This is really 3.5, and it's got all this crap in it.
They
And we'll
could.
see you next year. We just don't know. We hope
Mhm.
they don't do that because they got the Delta patcher and they're working like we said, all these different teams and slip some shit in.
Yeah.
That would be
Hopefully
better.
they can just
That's what we
patch
hope.
I'm the other way. I hope they do that because that
Yeah.
would mean that things are having expected. Because
Wow.
I'm like, oh man, we're only going to do this things in 3.1, but it was so easy. But 3.2, all right, 3.3, all right, 3.4. Shit, we got really quick through that.
You hope.
I mean-
but if it pushes
If they're
out till next
adding
year, I don't
features-
think that's good.
If they're adding features, that means work was easier than expected. When they're taking it away,
As-
that's what we expect to see.
That's the thing, though. They add features because they think it's going to be easy. Then they hit a roadblock, and then in 6 months go by trying to work through the roadblock, and then it's next year, and then it's like we didn't get any new updates for a year, and then it's kind of like,
I
so-
believe they've kind of learned not to add it.
I hope not.
Unless they're 100% sure that they can do it.
Mm.
At this,
I-
after this,
I gotta say, Mr. Roberts, please say the words feature locked. Feature locked.
Never.
Feature locked.
All right.
Don't have to tell me what's in it. Just say feature.
I think generally speaking, we all hope that the patches will come faster, but we don't know. The reality is. Go ahead, Meyer.
No, I was going to say that, the patches may be able to come faster because of the Delta patcher. That being said, 3.0 itself might, we have it in Evocati now. Let's say that they iron out all the bugs, fast or whatever.
Yeah.
I still don't think, maybe CitizenCon time, it might be out, but I feel like
Maybe.
because, again, like, the gaming world is looking at Star Citizens 3.0 as basically being like its early access. This is the game, and this is where like a lot of critics are gonna either bury it or sing its praises. That even with the Delta patcher, it might take a while before things are properly greenlit. Because even though they have kind of more freedom to update and stuff with the Delta patcher, they don't want to make something buggy on release and then have to come and fix it.
And it will help them between the studios as well, don't forget, so they'll be able to actually fix shit quicker between the studios.
Yeah.
I imagine.
And that's the main purpose
Yeah.
of the Delta
That's-
patchers, right? To deliver
Yeah.
fixes, not to deliver content. We hope that we
Yeah.
can get content more often, but It's more about fixing stuff faster.
And
it also makes it so much easier that when we when they actually do release the new content, it's not a 30 gigabyte download. It's like a it's like a 10.
So much cheaper
incremental.
for them. So much cheaper for them on that regard as well. Yeah,
that's where the Delta Patcher helps with the development. Like you said. It helps us less, honestly, until they finally give us something.
Yeah,
it helps them studio to studio, smaller data costs, saving our money and other people's money.
Don't expect the Delta Patcher to be basically like, oh, now we're going to get more content. Oh, and now we're going to get hangar-ready ships because Matt Sherman already said on somebody's stream, I can't remember whose it was now.
This one.
But this one?
Yeah.
So Matt Sherman already said, there aren't going to be like hangar-ready mode ships anymore because that pipeline is just so. There's so much that goes into making a ship, preparing it to be hangar ready. I mean, it's not just like, oh, it's a pretty ship that's in your hangar. So so it's not going to be like, oh, Delta Patch, now we're going to get more content. Only if it's ready and working well. But don't expect things to be faster on that regards. But I think it will give us the option, but don't expect more presence faster.
No.
All right. So I'm going to be cutting through a lot of this stuff because I've got to go get drunk with streamers.
What? You're already getting drunk with streamers.
Oh, right.
Well, shit.
Oh.
I've been getting drunk with more
I guess I'm not a
streamers.
streamer. Okay.
You've been bucked down, my friend.
Oh, now I feel like an asshole. Jesus Christ. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted.
Yes.
Next question comes from Fastcart, who asks, would the cast be interested in making bulkheads machinima like bulkheads like machinima based on the Happy ATC? Sure, if I knew how to use that shit. But yeah.
That'd be good.
I'll give you stupid ass voices all day. I don't know if it's useful at all, but
You know what? I would even go so far as to say we could do a Mr. Bean style ATC.
ATC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean. Oh god.
Same dialogue too.
Next question comes from. Next question
round.
comes from frightened UEE bureaucrat. Anyone here hear the last month's big Eve drama? Yes, we did.
They stole a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
How many times has that happened? Come on.
Do you want such freedoms to fuck stuff up for people in Star Citizen?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
It needs to be cutthroat.
I want to give a fuck. You know what I mean?
It needs to matter. It fucking shit needs to matter.
It needs to matter, and they need to empower every citizen to be stupid and make really dumb mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then learn from them, not be like, oh, I did this stupid thing. I'm sorry. Can I get my shit all back?
I want the
not
drama. I want the post of my Raven was equipped with the following. I want that. Was it a Drake? I can't remember if it was a Drake or a Raven. I can't remember. I think it was
It's just such a tight. It's such a hard thing to manage for CIG since the amount of real monetary value that all the ships and items have.
I mean,
you're gonna get most of your shit back anyway, unless you don't insure it. I mean, that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get more back than you should. But.
Somebody in chat was asking what drama. Somebody in chat was asking what drama exactly. I think the guy asking the question was talking about with Eve like about $400,000 or something worth of like
assets, game assets.
In-game assets.
Organization.
Yeah.
Why?
And
because shitty security.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Basically, it's like the second in command for that organization, which is like one of the top organizations.
Betrayal.
He went to basically like Eve's sitcon, and he met with some people, and they were like,
the time is now.
So he went back, he logged on, and and he
for real though. That's
like. They met at sitcon, and he had got his way up to being second in command of this other organization. And because he had all that power, he took all their assets and just gave them to other people, like in another guild. And then he also they had this like giant space station that they'd all like put money towards. And because they were in such a weakened economic state, they didn't attack that. And so the $400,000 worth of like just in-game assets were just down the drain.
Yep.
It's called corporate espionage.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you have it on a regular basis in this game.
Not only has CIG, not only do we want this kind of stuff in CIG, CIG has literally made an organization branch for espionage. Like, you can make an espionage organization. There are actually several espionage organizations that exist in game right now who are spying on all the other organizations.
Who wants to start?
I just blew the lid. I am Deep Throat. There we go.
How many in the new Guiding Hand Social Club? That's all I have.
How many alts do I have in your guys' organizations right now?
Test doesn't give a fuck. Come spy on us. And just
you'll find out that we like
Test
beer.
Test is smart enough not to centralize everything in one person's hands too. So that's come on.
Wait, are we?
We have Montoya, but if Montoya flips on us,
Montoya doesn't own all the things.
No.
He's the grand herder of all the sheep. And
he is God Emperor. He's God Emperor of the universe. That's how that works. So the next question comes from Headclot, who asks, "What are your thoughts on Eve Dangerous getting space carriers in their Beyond update?" I haven't seen it, but here's the reality: Eve has had space carriers since the multi-crew update. Like, there are large ships can carry fighters. So
forever.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Elite Dangerous?
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
lost me there.
Elite.
Carriers.
I was gonna say.
Like, wait a second.
But
in multi-crew.
correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't played ED in a long time, and I played it only for like 5 hours, and then I gave up on it. You're still your ship, right? You are the avatar. You can't physically be a person. Yeah, right now they're planning on rolling it out to where you could actually stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take control of a fighter that you launch from your ship and be like, "Ooh, I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter."
That's cool. I think I got jaded though from Eve. Not the Elite Dangerous is a bad game, but me being an avatar as a ship for so long, even though that's graphically really beautiful in Elite Dangerous, I just couldn't get into it because I just wanted to be a person again. After 9 years of being a spaceship, I was like, "Person, can I be a real boy?"
Frontier just had their convention today, and their big takeaway from that is that you can now have guilds in the game. Well, you will be eventually, and those guilds can now make their own station and then have their base of operations from there.
Sounds very EVE Online to me. It's perfect.
They were putting in player-owned carriers, where you can have multiple large ships.
Yeah.
That'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But again, the answer is that it doesn't change the gameplay up significantly in Elite Dangerous, because it's not like they didn't already have multi-crew ships with multi-crew capabilities. It's not like Star Citizen. It's not like because it's just like you're in a seat in a place. It's like more like like Battlefield and how they do multiple crewed vehicles, where you have one guy in the turret and you have one guy in the driver's seat and like whatever. That's I'm sure I'm thinking like Battlefield 2 now, because I'm sure everyone can drive a tank and fire shit now in Battlefield because they made it super easy. But that's the point.
One thing I would love to see in Elite Dangerous is a freaking bank. It's an MMO, and you can't leave something in a place on a station and have your own base of operations. No,
no, that's frustrating.
Well, I believe that's because they have their offline mode, right? Where you can essentially make money and bring it back into the universe and in and out, right? So that's why they don't have all
the
that
offline,
trades.
the offline and online modes are all intrinsically linked. Like if you go to a station, it'll have a set amount of stuff in it. You do some trade there, and maybe tomorrow it'll be updated. And they're all linked, offline and offline. They're all still on, connected to the server. But in Elite Dangerous, let's say you have a ship that has a cargo capacity of, let's say, 4, and you have 4 stuff in your ship. And then you wanted to get a different ship that had 2 cargo capacity. The station can say, okay, I'll keep your your coolers and stuff, but there's no storage space on a giant station where people live. It's basically a floating city. To keep 2 tons of your own just commodities. It's
your player doesn't have an inventory.
and you don't have a bank in WoW would have a bank, or any other MMO has a bank, and I don't know.
But I would imagine the player trade thing. See, that's the one aspect I was really worried about that they might try to do in Star Citizen was have an offline mode, because that would be the way people would avoid player combat, right? They'd just be I'll go offline mode, make money, and then I'll just fight and try to kill people whenever it's convenient for me. And that just doesn't. I don't like that.
It breaks the online economy. That broke broke Elite.
That is. Yeah, that's why one of the reasons I'm not sure I'll touch ED. Just don't.
Yeah.
That is.
So
it's a beautiful game. I think if you
Yeah.
like solo gameplay and you want to just do some common like PvE stuff with your friends, I think it's a beautiful
definitely.
space game. But it's just not the MMO that I want.
It's not a
to see in
sandbox.
Star Citizen.
It's also
Yeah.
not one of those
Yeah.
because it works. It's someone's called it like the room system. It's like a room system where each system is its own room, and then you have these doors that lead you to other systems, which are your jump when you jump. But it's simply the jumps aren't actually like moving you anywhere. They're just a load screen. Like you give an animation where you leave the room, and then they load up the next room, and you pop in. And there's a maximum of 24 players per area. And then they instance. So you never really will see more than 24 people in a system at one point.
Two things I'm glad that Star Citizen will have that Elite Dangerous doesn't have, and I'm not sure if your level will, are that Star Citizen you will have the ability to trade with another player, and also in Star Citizen, which you can't do in ED, you can't share quests with party members in Elite Dangerous, and I think Aaron confirmed that you will be able to share quests with party members. So like missions, we're talking about sci-fi games, not
That's
like
awesome.
fantasy games, but yeah. So those two things, that's the meat and potatoes of MMOs. I'm so glad that we're getting that.
Yeah, that's really essential with the multi-crew, and then be able to share those things. Then you don't have the same problem there I was worried about, like 6 dudes on your ship running to miles to try to get the same mission. It's like, I'll grab it, you guys watch a ship, and then we can share it, and there we go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right. Next question comes from More Power. Actually, I'm going to skip that one. More Power, not because.
I'm gonna take a second. Actually, I'm gonna be right back.
Sure, go for it. More Power. It's not that it's not a good question. It's just I need to go. I'm late. I'm already late. late for a very important date. And it's late for Meyer and Datox, so they're probably passing out right now. It's like 2 a.m.
It's actually early now. It's so late. It's early right now.
The next question comes from Zorky, who asks, "Who of the 6 of you is going to CitizenCon in Frankfurt?" I know Mitachi.
CitizenCon.
I'm going to CitizenCon. Yes,
Yeah.
I am going.
Yeah. So myself, Detox, and not Detox, Tacon and Nighthawk Zale are not. But I believe Tacon and I are going to VerseCon. I don't know if Nighthawk's going or not. Are you staying in?
I am not.
Yeah.
This year, the only part of me that's going to be at VerseCon is Traverse the Verse.
Traverse, yeah. So
Next
again,
year.
Again, if you
Next year,
haven't,
yeah.
if you're not going to CitizenCon and you're in the United States or North America and you want to go to a big fan convention, VerseCon, it's being held in August in Austin on the 27th and 28th of October. So the first day is a watch party for with and beer drinking, lots of alcohol, because there's a bar in the event. And then the next day we have panels, and we have an esports tournament, and then we have like pick up and play
More
games you
drinking.
can play, more drinking. So it's gonna be kind of cool. And of course, we can't guarantee that any CIG members will show up, but it's in Austin, and it's the day after CitizenCon, and we have had CIG members say that they want to make it. So that's another good thing to in August, boys.
Very cool.
Next question comes from Calexis, who asks, "When do you think we will see Polaris Idris Javelin with the alpha beta for testing?"
Soon.
Sooner than you think, but not as soon as you like.
Polaris and the
When it's
Idris. God,
I feel like
Impossible.
I feel like any ship that's going to be in Squadron 42 that's large and it's going to have
Probably.
rooms will be released after Squadron 42, simply because, like, magic will be lost if you know the ins and outs of the miniature like the back of your hand before it's even like in the story mode,
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
that's it.
All right. Next question comes from the Face of Bo, who asks,
Good name.
any plans for a FOIP Captain's Table special when the tech is out?
Oh yeah.
That would be awesome.
The goal is that
Yeah.
the Captain's Table in the future, like when the game's released and everything, that we'd have the Captain's Table at an actual table at the Astro
In-game?
Pub in game where we would talk.
That'd be awesome.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yes,
I'm into
awesome.
that would
Yeah.
be great.
At the very
As long
least,
as I can sit there the whole time like this.
yeah.
Picture my own face. Cut it out. Hold it on the camera on a stick just right there and be like, permanent expression.
So That's the whole
My
point for
character-
Floyd,
no.
for this kind of stuff. It'll
Boy,
be,
look great.
and we'll have interruptions with people walking in, being like, "I'm naked, look at me," and jumping up on the table and dancing. And then we'll see.
We'll have stream snipers.
Yeah, and we'll have like my weary
Bring 'em on,
mods,
baby. I
my,
like
we-
stream
my weary
snipers.
my weary mods jumping up onto the table with shotguns trying to kill the dude, and then dragging the body out in the middle of the conversation. You know,
Mods acting as actual security.
yeah.
I need clarification. I think my headphones are going bad. Did someone say stream sniper or streak sniper?
Because
Both.
yes,
Both are acceptable answers.
That's why I'm asking.
if we have a podcast in a bar and people know that the podcast is going on, people will try to drop the we'll get naked and try to streak the
Absolutely.
podcast. Yeah.
By the thousands.
And that's why you need the streaks.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Mega Online, who asks, if CIG said you guys could add one thing to, each to the game, what would it be? We'll start with Tachi and move our way back to Detox. What's one thing you could add if you had a chance to?
I already talked about earlier interdiction mechanics from EVE Online into Star Citizen.
Okay. Tack on.
More player-owned stuff. Let us produce. Let us own. Let us build. You know, just keep going that direction. They've kind of opened the door a little bit. Now, swing it open. Let's get going.
How about you, Meyer?
I want Hyper Vanguard Force in game.
Yeah. I believe someone someone last week actually mentioned that as well. That like because of the sneak peek they gave of the Hyper Vanguard Force in that machine.
Oh, on the console,
Yeah.
the Grim Hex sneak peek. That was.
Nighthawk, how about you?
I don't know if I predict this or not, but I actually want to see more functionality and support of organization infrastructure. I think that might actually help out the party system in some ways, and it would help those of us within organizations to better connect with other org mates. And I'm not even going so far as to say I want to make my own uniforms and I want to be able to design the rank insignias. And no, I don't even care. Like, that's just let's have some kind of tool that allows us to develop an infrastructure to support expanded multiplayer gameplay.
Yep.
Even just
Organizational movie night.
Yeah.
Be perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
On my Phoenix.
Yeah.
How about you, Detox? What's one thing you would add?
Honestly, I'm really happy with everything. Tack on pretty much covered probably what I would say is more stuff that players can control in the universe, more player control over things. And that's it, really. Nothing I really thought, damn, I wish this was in yet. But yeah.
My big
That's
thing
it.
would
Oh, Terminator armor, of course. The
Terminator armor?
Titans in there.
The one thing I would actually add is more customization for the interior look of your ships. So, like for instance, if you had a Phoenix, you could move stuff around on the interior, or buy stuff to put in there. You can do it in a hex system. They showed off something like that when they showed off the grabby hands, the original grabby hands, where they picked up like a trophy and they were able to put it in their freelancer, on a little edge. That kind of stuff would be nice to be able to like buy a Mixmaster and put it in ship, or buy a bar and put it in there, or buy like a pool table and put it in there. Buy
Like
a
Star
hot
Wars
tub.
Galaxies
house
kind of furniture arranging. That was just people spent their entire life doing that in Star Wars Galaxies. You could do so much
because
interior design.
not only is it just like it makes it very personal for somebody, but it also adds an aspect that personal aspect adds to the value of a ship. You know, like I don't want to die because I spent fucking 15 hours decorating this goddamn ship to make it look baller as shit, and I'm not about to let it get blown up. Like,
very good point.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Fastgart, who has said the last ATV they said they released 3.0 to ETF with 17 bugs. Price is Right style, closest to being right without going over. How many bugs do you think the report will be in the report next week? I will abstain from this question. Mitachi.
42.
I'm going to go with 8.
Okay, tack on.
Are we paying bets on?
Yeah,
It's Price is Right.
3 actually.
3. Okay.
43.
43. Okay, and Meyer said 42.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't give a serious question. I mean, answer.
Yeah.
One, Bob.
1. Okay.
Oh, you went $1 under, didn't you?
Fucking $1
24.
bastard.
24. Okay.
24. Just putting it out there.
The bug is right. Yeah. Okay. Well, someone if this when this is on YouTube, someone will watch it and then write down below who was right with the closest without going over. You know.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Mayonnaise 115 015, who asks, "Do you think Star Citizen will ever have big Citadel space stations like an Eve?" Yes, I think that's part of what the we all talked about this earlier about what the game changer ship is. So,
and I think
Maybe
that's
not-
part of what
Maybe
they
not
were.
that goddamn huge, but big.
Yeah, but I think that's what they were trying to convey by bringing in the truck stops. Is that actual ports like Olisar, are not going to be like the Olisar we know now. Olisar that we know now is a truck stop.
Right.
When we get to the real Port Olisar, it's going to make these truck stops look insignificant almost. Like they're practically going to be shipyards on their own.
Yeah.
So we're definitely that whole scale is changing.
Yeah, it's going to be big, but yeah.
but
Probably
player
small.
owned and player constructed would be a little bit different. You know.
Probably. I think that would be more like the system they showed off to us, I think about a year ago, where they were like, oh, this is the comm array you know right now. But then when we go into the new system, we put the power plant in, and we put the transceiver in, and we put the storage in, and then they had like 15 different ones just using these certain
And
components.
I imagine you'd have to maintain them and all that if it's something
Oh,
that's
yeah.
around. So you'd have to have people there. So before you wish for too much organizational player stuff, make sure you have the people to fix the shit. Because otherwise you'll be like, oh, Commonly's down again.
Yeah.
It'd be like those of us who had to do POS management. Takia might remember that. Like, you
Yeah,
have to
I
run
remember
that 20
that.
POSes.
I made
Yeah.
somebody else
That's all I
do
did
it.
all day.
I made somebody else do it. No, but just let us tax the hell out of all transactions on our stations, and it'll pay for itself.
Yep.
All right.
Refill our own gas. That'd be good.
Last question of the day comes from Headcloud, who asks, "What are your thoughts on SitCon being 7 hours long?" I think we're going to see. It's not going to be a 7 hour long presentation. It's just going to be. Most of that is going to be them milling about with their vendors.
Yeah.
This CitizenCon this year is very different from any of the previous years because it's more convention like than show like.
Oh, and I 100% guarantee you that 3.0 will be playable at CitizenCon there. So yeah, I guarantee you. It doesn't matter what status it's in; it'll be playable there. Yeah.
No, they'll have stuff there. Yeah, they kind of
they have to.
Gamescom.
So, all right.
I'll call
think they
you
learned that-
from there, Paul. I'll call
They
you.
learned
Thank you.
that, they learned that from last year after they kept us out in the street for 4 hours.
Yep, and in like 100-degree temperatures.
A
Without
bunch of
any shade.
nerdy
Hey,
Midwesterners out.
Yeah.
It was only like 103. What are you talking about? It's only like.
Less about the temperature, more about the goddamn burning orb in the sky making me boil.
Yeah,
And we only had one dead body. Okay, we only had one dead body, and he was at the front of the line, so we were able to actually just sort of like scoot. Everyone else was.
we actually had to
we
replace
ate him
Richard.
later.
We had to replace Richard with a clone because he died waiting there. He showed up at midnight the night before.
Actually, he was.
He was the first person in line. Yeah, he showed up at like 3 a.m. You know.
It was crazy. I was out there getting the front area set up. We didn't even have a queue. We were still, do you want to send the line that way or do you want to send the line that way? Is the shade going to be on this side or how? Well, it's safer over here. And Captain Richard's sitting over there already. He's like, what's up?
Alrighty,
Yeah,
guys.
crazy.
Thank you guys all for much for hanging out with us here tonight. If you guys are here and watching this live, follow all of these wonderful folks. They all do streaming. They all do multiple contents, including Star Citizen. And if you're watching this live on YouTube, live on YouTube, pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you for watching.
No, this is live on.
You can
If you're alive and watching on YouTube.
If you're alive and watching, please do follow all these folks as well. We do this live on 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. British summertime on Twitch. Link down below as well. And like I say every night, hope to see you guys again soon. But if I don't, hope to see you someday in the black. Have a good night, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Good night, guys. Peace out.